What? My name is Ryan, Operations and Maintenance Manager.
This heart of steel goes against the grain. Nothing to live for, so nothing stands in my way. Truth carries me, and I see it in you. A will to survive and fight its way through. Just like you, I'm fucking lost. Just like you. Confessing loyalty to the blood that I bleed. I claim confession, guide me. Troubled times, lacking peace. All I have is myself, and that's fine with me. It's just a trick built to make us weak. What the fuck is real? Who the fuck is fake? Mostly time, man, who's the fucking snake? What will you do if I refuse to listen? Only hurting myself with your words if I believe them. So forfeit ever being trusted.
Okay.
Now my blood so often to confess the lies you tried to hide. Venom fucking sears my soul, forcing me to know that when it comes to blows, I am all on my own. Venom sears my soul, forcing me to know that when it comes to blows, I am all on my own, all on my own again. But my conviction guides me. Loyally to blood I bleed, through the agony of this thing I refuse to let you get the best of me. Forging an ironclad guard borders through troubled times and find my peace.
It's hard. I want to be normal so bad, but I don't know what it is.
Encourage my
Alright, Freddie, let's show him who's still running shit in New York.
You and me.
Manball 2023 still holding it down.
Hardcore still lives. From the old school to the new. Let's go.
You and me, we ain't one of the same. That's why you are where you are. That's why I am where I am. I can walk around with my head held high while you're hiding around the corner acting like you don't know why. It ain't as fun as you want. You had your time, it comes and goes, and now you're all caught up.
Used to dodge your bullets, but we won't let up. I got a feeling that it won't take much.
So quick to jump the fence, and now you can't protect.
This ain't the game that you think it is.
Ain't no win or lose.
Your fate is sealed.
You wanna play your game?
The ball's in your court.
And you'll keep me score.
It's kill or be killed.
It's kill or be killed.
I know you're caught in the ones that turn their back to climb a ladder of magic. It's in your head. You struck a nerve that doesn't happen then. This ain't the game you think it is. It's kill or be killed.
You struck a nerve that doesn't happen yet.
This ain't the game you think it is. It's kill or be killed.
Dodge your bullets, but you know we won't let up. I got a feeling that it will not take that much. So quick to jump the fence, but now you can't protect.
This ain't the game. It's kill or be killed.
We're from New York. We don't give a shit, you know?
Hello everyone, to all one people that is watching. Hopefully Webbs is gonna join me later if he can. But if it isn't already obvious, today we're gonna be reacting to a new Harman Smith video. Ordinarily I wouldn't be doing this, but it's funny, he name dropped me in this one, so I thought I would go ahead and give it a whirl. So, I mean, I guess I shouldn't probably delay it any further. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time anyway, so, if you guys are ready, let's just jump into it.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Not sure what the rules are to this live streaming thing yet. Here we are with our early morning stream that I promised rather naively. I had to rush home after work and barely got to sit down for 20 minutes before the stream was scheduled to start. So unfortunately, yeah, I almost blew it on my very first promised stream. Oh, did I not even just title this as a Lee Live? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's funny. He scheduled this as a live stream to go up later, actually earlier this morning. I don't know why you would schedule a pre-recorded thing to go up as a live stream. I don't know why this isn't just a video, but I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it just doesn't really matter. Well, maybe I will. Yeah, you should. You should, because hopefully I'll have enough time to react to Harman's book, which I got a free sample of. I did not spend my money on it. I want to make that very clear. I did not spend my money on Harman Smith stuff. I got a free sample from Amazon, so we're going to be taking a look at that today as well on stream. So
I'm not even sure if this should qualify as one, or or what's going to happen, because the main thing I really wanted to address is that like we really have to go on record and talk about what's going on in the community, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who like casually watch the videos, or detractors, or people who don't know necessarily what's going on, who aren't like clued in as to like the behind the scenes autism in regards to like Discord raids and like some things in the community and some things that are happening. And I really wanted to address it openly, because it's kind of crossed the line for me. It's kind of done something that I've increasingly found myself like very, very unhappy with. And that is my critics. Well, I hate calling them critics because I don't want to lump them in all together. Like, I don't know what to call these people, like haters or like detractors, like people who really want to cancel Harman Smith, right? People who just really don't like my channel. Like, more and more, these people are coming after fans. They're coming after people who comment. Like, I've seen, VGL 58 kind of release negative comments about, certain people in my community. Star, I've seen him talk about Retro Fusion Gaming, a handful of other people, right? And, VGL hasn't done a lot for a long time, ever since he got wrecked, right, by his community. Like, he's been such a toxic person that he's kind of fallen off by the wayside. But now we kind of have like some new challengers coming to the ring, right? We have some people coming out trying to tell us that like, ooh, Harman Smith, he needs to be straight up canceled. He needs to.
It's because of the stuff you say online, like publicly, and how much of a fool you make yourself out to be. That's the reason that I personally consider you a fucking lolcow. Like, you're on the same levels of Chris Chan, right? Like, and all like 5 people that you talk to in your little Discord server that you have, that you don't make publicly available, by the way, for obvious reason, but all 5 people that you talk to in there have this same Taylor Swift-like mindset of, like, if anything happens to you, that, like, they gotta protect you no matter what, right? So, RFG sucks off Harman. Yeah, no, that's obvious. He even left a comment under here on Harman's video that I might read later, because it's just, I mean, Harman and the stuff that his quote-unquote community says is just, like, the same hive-minded bullshit. Like, it's just, they say things that are objectively wrong, and granted they have their own opinion in games, which I don't personally give all that much of a shit about, but they say things that are objectively wrong and try to make claims that absolutely nobody is coming up with, and trying to push this narrative out there that everybody has it out for Nintendo and the world is out to get them, when that's just not true at all.
Be straight up removed from YouTube. And to do that, we're going to try and mass report him and try to like create controversy even when there is one, even when there is none. And I've seen this like surface like casually for a while now. Like, I've seen people talk about like my political views, or like alleged political views and stuff like that. I've seen how people are just kind of like obsessively coming after my online personality, the channel, the books, the website has been kind of targeted, kind of. Like, I've seen people like try and do stuff to me personally for a long time. And for me, it's not really that big of a deal, right? For me, it's not that big of a deal because there's not really much that they can do to me personally.
Then why did you get so offended when me and Webbs called you out for how you structured your list? Why, if there's not much that we could do to you, why are you so butthurt? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. That me and Webbs just decided to critique the way that you handled your top 10 list and how you structured it. And you got so butthurt over it. There's apparently not much anyone can do to you. Right. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. You let your ego get the best of you. Also, dude, Either get a new shirt or pull your shirt down, please. No one wants to see that shit. And I meant to say this earlier, but in fairness, drastic improvement from your webcam mic. So please use whatever you're using now more often.
But there is like an issue of what's happening right now in regards to like the going after fans thing that just has me like not happy, because it's not enough to simply see Harman Smith fail. Like, anybody who is associated with him has to be terminated. Like, these are people who have the opinion that Nintendo is superior, and as a result,
Who is saying any of this? Who is saying that anyone associated with you needs to be terminated? Nobody. I have not heard anybody say that. Maybe there's like one or two people in like a very, very small pocket of YouTube that really has it out for you, that is trying to say this. But no, nobody is saying that you or anyone associated with you needs to be terminated. Nobody's making that argument, Harman.
we can't allow them on YouTube. We can't allow them to speak their mind. We can't have them.
Oh yeah, it's also not because, like, you know, they're associated with you, and not especially not because they have the opinion that, quote, Nintendo is superior. But if they like are, you know, like actually harmful to the platform in any way, then I would make that call definitively. But I haven't seen them really do anything that is inappropriate or super negative on the platform, so I can't objectively say anything like that. But I have not seen anybody make that claim personally, so I don't understand what he's trying to get at here.
Making fun of emulation or PC gaming or like certain major Sony IPs or like certain darling indie projects, right? We can't have any of that. Like, we can't allow Nintendo to have any audience at all. Like, we can't have any pushback to the narrative that PC gaming is superior. So we're going to praise Baldur's Gate 3 even though we never played it, right? We're gonna make fun of Harman Smith for like sharing a Game of the Year poll in which like Metroid Prime Remastered beat out Baldur's Gate 3.
It's because you're a massive Nintendo shill. That's why everyone makes fun of you, because you spend little to no time with the games you claim to play and say are bad, but then any game that you do play that has major issues, aka Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you brush off any and all bugs that that are in the game and try and like downplay them and make the game look better, when in reality it's just kind of not even a broken mess. It's just a technical mess. Like that's because you make yourself look like a fucking dumbass. That is exactly why people make fun of you, because you make yourself look so fucking stupid. Like, it's not hard to understand, Harman.
We're gonna issue a raid on this poll to try and swing it the other way. You know, we're gonna try and like raid Discord communities. We're gonna try and report him for everything he's doing. We're gonna try coming after people's channels. Like, I think someone in my community has deleted his channel because of what's going on. I don't know how true that is or whatever, but I don't know. But like, I have been seeing a lot more that the people that I've been seeing as regulars, people who are being like seen as like Harman Smith allies, even though like, you know, I have no allies. I'm a true lone wolf in this regard.
I think the 5 people in your Discord server would beg to differ. Like, clearly, RFG has like a huge like hard on for you, and then I know there's a couple of other people that leave comments on your videos that tend to agree with you and will just suck you off no matter what you fucking do. Like, you're not really a lone wolf if you have people that would jump at your defense no matter what the fuck you do. Like, I have people in my server and people who watch my videos who I firmly believe that if I did something stupid, objectively, they would call me out on it. I firmly believe that, and believe me, guys, trust me. If I do anything stupid, like to the degree that Harman is doing, is something so trivial as that, just please do call me out on it because I deserve to be held accountable if I do anything stupid. What's up, Em?
Like, when I look at like what's been happening, like more and more I'm seeing people getting targeted, right? The community as a whole is completely under attack. And it is only because of video games, right? Like, let's get this out of the way right now. Is that like if anybody says anything about like my political views or something I said or what have you, like that's just a cope. Like the real
A cope. So, you saying, and I quote, I am quoting here, you said, and I quote, that George Floyd deserved to be kneeled on, and I quote, we should start shitting on black people more. That is something you straight up said. I don't know if the video still exists on your channel, but I can't imagine that you wouldn't have deleted it after saying something like that. Something as stupid and as brain dead as that. Yeah, you said that, and even in my video, I exposed you for being a homophobe. That you even included this clip yourself in that video that you made responding to me. You said that you were prepared to stop supporting Bayonetta 3 if Bayonetta turned out to be a lesbian. Like, it's like saying the same thing as like you would be prepared to not support The Last of Us anymore because Ellie is a lesbian. Like you're just like, that's not a cope, that's just you being objectively a shitty person. Like, it's really, what is there not to understand? Like, how is that a cope? Like, that's just you being objectively shitty.
Reason I'm being targeted is because of the video games, right? That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with my personal views or like anything I've done or said, because the channel itself is relatively clean, right? Like
I wouldn't say it's relatively clean. You still have like some dirt on there that people can dig up, but like, I don't know who's gonna sift through a bunch of different Harman Smith videos just to find dirt. Like, at that point, I just don't think it's worth it. And you and your audience are yes, mostly targeted for video games because of your absolutely ungodly brain dead takes. Like, it's really not. Oh my god, this dude. Yeah, it is mostly over video games, but it's because of your and your audience's brain dead takes. Like, the Switch is somehow technically superior to other consoles in the PC, which is just objectively not true. Like, it is a miracle that they were able to get the Hogwarts Legacy to perform on the Switch. Granted, it might not perform well, but at least it's kind of playable. And if you look at the new Arkham Knight Switch port, it looks like it's running on low graphical settings. Like, it's straight up, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. So that's what people are coming after you for, mostly. Like, and of course, you saying that these games that are quote unquote bad, that you never spent any time with to begin with at all, you're saying they're bad, but you never even played them, and you probably never will. So like, I do not understand your logic in saying that. Like,
that's not something that I do on this channel or on any other like public platform, right? Like, it's not something I really talk about a lot for reasons. I'm getting to the point now where I try not to even swear on stream, right? Because it's all about like presenting myself in a very clean, presentable way, right? It's not.
Says the guy who constantly shits on Nick Rekieta and constantly uses the term, and I'm quoting here again, he uses the term retard constantly on his streams. And probably in videos too. I wouldn't doubt it if he uses it in videos either. So, and like, in a clean, presentable way, you constantly shill for Nintendo. You have your gut hanging out half the fucking time. Dude, I don't get it. You do, because there's no other way for me to say this. You just don't present yourself in a clean and presentable way. Like, you're constantly shit talking people. You told Jeff Keighley that he should off himself. You say all this really dumb shit and you just spout hate at people constantly and are just like, yeah, these people don't deserve the good stuff that they're getting. How are we supposed to take you seriously and like you if you're just being an asshole? Like, it's like the same thing as bullies. Like, how are you supposed to like a bully just because they're being objectively shitty? Like, you just can't. It's just simple as that. You can't. I cannot be with you. I'm ready, my guy? Okay. Let me go over here. Tell him to hop in. Alright. See your screens. Enable clipping, I guess so. What's up?
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Your view is so narrow-minded. That's a throwback.
Good callback.
Yeah. I'm
So,
good at those.
oh shit.
That's
So can you see the video on Discord?
Let me see. No, it is very, very goofy. I'll just, Yeah, I cannot see it. Let me try to disconnect and
shit.
reconnect.
Okay.
Yeah, Discord is so goofy like that. It
is.
asks you for, tons of,
Let's see. I can also lower the quality if I need to, just so it'll show up.
Yeah, Discord is a data hog.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely, for sure.
Come on. There we go. I can see it. Let's go.
You can see it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so all I had to do was just lower the quality.
Yeah.
So you can still see it because it says
Yeah.
pause preview to save resources. So just making sure you can still see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So you
That's
see.
unflattering.
I know, very.
Unflattering.
It's one of the most unflattering angles, right? But credit where it's due, his mic does sound better.
Yeah.
So he should start using this to film more often.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've seen the stream up to this point. You know where we're at.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep going.
I don't necessarily put myself out there trying to be an edgelord in the traditional sense. I suppose.
Yeah, that's
in
what
a
I think
way,
when I
like,
think
talking
Harman
about
Smith. I think edgelord.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Whenever I see
Besides
this
his
guy.
remarks on vampires, I don't think edgelord.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's. I don't know, man. I think maybe the way he presents himself, he comes across as an edgelord because he uses the R word constantly.
Yeah.
Wow,
how edgy.
Yeah, exactly. He's not impressing anybody. He really is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Nintendo the way I do is in its own way edgy, because that's such a shocking thing to so many people that somebody out there actually believes that Nintendo is superior to the competition, because it is such an ingrained thing in
I don't think that's a
that
new
it
take.
can't possibly be true.
No, it's not. I mean, maybe in the early 2000s, whenever the Wii was popular, absolutely, whenever the DS and the Wii came out, absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo was massive at that time.
Yeah.
But of course, they're lost to
Yeah.
Sony in the 90s with the N64 to the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
That seemed
And they lost to the. And then they lost in the early 2000s. The GameCube.
Well, yeah.
To the Xbox and
the PS2.
Especially the PS2.
Oh yeah, yeah. This dude also made a video trying to revive that shit, saying that
Oh
that the
my
GameCube
gosh.
was somehow better than the PS2, which just
That's hilarious.
that's objectively not true. But whatever. I mean, it also had the same games on it for the most part.
Well, yeah. Except of course, no rated M games, because at the time Nintendo was like very picky about what they would have.
Well-
Nowadays, like you go on their eShop and there's like the most heinous crap you've ever seen, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's The Witcher 3 on there, for God's sake. And then, like, one of the
Yeah.
opening scenes to that game, like, Geralt's wife or whatever, is laying naked just for you to see. This is a part of the game, by the way. This is a part of the game, by the way. This is not, like,
Imagine
this is not me
the guy
capping
in
or claiming that, like, yeah, no, it's a part of the game. So, like, I think Nintendo has, like, with, like,
Imagine-
modern,
yeah.
with more, I guess, quote-unquote modern games, aka, you know, almost 10-year-old games at this point, are coming over
Yeah.
to the Switch because, I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess to try and get more and more people to buy the Switch because there's more games coming to it.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, the notion that Nintendo is superior to other platforms is like not a new take or something, or a hot
Yeah.
take even, because like, well, yeah, the hardware is not, you know,
It's objective.
It's like-
it's a hardware being good or not good is purely objective. Like there's no way around that, and the Switch's
Oh,
hardware is
yeah.
objectively outdated. It just is.
It's comparable to like a it's like better than, I would say, a 360.
Yeah,
right?
because
That's
I
about
mean,
it.
yeah, maybe. I was
Yeah.
I was trying to do a little bit of research last night into the Hogwarts Legacy port just to see if it was
Yeah.
any good. And I mean, the only article I read was from IGN, and IGN is not very credible at all.
No.
Like they're not. But they did say that while you're exploring the castle, that textures pop in very frequently, and it runs at a very poor frame rate. So
I may buy it just for funsies, just to be
Right.
like, oh, I own Hogwarts Legacy.
if it
It's
turns
like-
out that it's unplayable, just refund it.
I'm like, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
so
Like
it's
I mean,
cool. I like that. Okay. I like the idea of the Switch. Like, it's cool to have like, ooh, what if a modern game was ported to an Xbox 360? Like, that idea is cool and all,
yeah, it is.
right? I've always thought that was cool. That's why, like, you know, the DS. I've always liked the DS because there's like, ooh, what if this game was on the Nintendo 64? You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. That idea is really cool, but like, you're making your whole business around 7th gen hardware in the 9th generation, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's working because it's I think it's outselling the PlayStation and Xbox right now, but at the same time, it's been around longer. It's like 7 years old now, I think.
Well, that's when the Switch came out, right? It was in like 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
like what, like 8 years old now by this point? Or
Yeah,
coming up in March,
7 to
it's going to
8
be like
years
8
old.
8 years old. So then
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
see
and it
here.
was outdated when it came out.
Wait, hold
right?
on.
It came out next to the
7.
yeah.
So like
Yeah, it came
yeah,
out.
no, it is 7 years old. Yeah, this year will be
Like,
7 years old.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, it came out. It's outdated when it came out because it came out like, well, it's like better than the Xbox 360, right? But it came out around the time of the Xbox One and PS4,
it came
and
out
it was
like a
already outdated.
that was already like what, like a few years after the PS4 and Xbox One launched.
Well, the PS4 and Xbox One launched in 2013, so it was
Oh, I thought
like
that was 2014. I thought it was
it
2014.
was either
I could be
13 or
wrong.
14.
Yeah,
I
could
think
be
it was
wrong,
13. And then it was, and then I think it released in 17, so that's like 4 years
Yeah,
later, because the Wii U launched, and then that was a
it was
failure,
a colossal
and so,
failure. Yeah.
yeah,
But to get
And
back
then
to
they
the
had to-
original. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
and then they had to hurry up and make something. They were like, so that's why I think also the Switch isn't as good as it probably could have been. They kind of had to hurry up and probably had to make something, to
Yeah.
get people back on Nintendo, to get their sales back,
Mm-hmm.
because they did lose a lot of money, I assume.
I imagine.
But don't quote me on that though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not a
and,
reputable
I guess,
source.
Yeah. I mean, to get back to the original point though, yeah, like the opinion that Nintendo is superior is not like not like a hot take. That's not like like
Yeah.
a unique take, I would say, by any stretch of the imagination. Because
I
I mean,
would say
I'll say
okay. We kind of went down a rabbit hole, but like their game. What I was gonna say though, yeah, their hardware sucks, but like their
it does.
games are good.
Their games are good, yeah. And if it wasn't, I'll even say this: what I think something we should have said from the beginning is that if it wasn't for Nintendo, we wouldn't be getting the games we are today.
Yeah,
Like, so
we
they
wouldn't be
they
getting
really they set the
these
foundation
great.
for yeah, they set the
Mm-hmm.
foundation for video games. So really, and
Yeah,
like I respect Nintendo in a lot of ways, I do. But
yeah.
it's just that like whenever a business does something shitty and they
Yeah.
and
Even
they
if
do
they're
they
like,
do
you
they do
know,
a bad thing, they do bad
yeah,
practices, they should be called out. Just like how he
exactly.
calls out every other major
Yeah,
company for doing something that he doesn't like.
yeah. Especially FromSoft. Oh boy,
Yeah. Oh
if
yeah.
they do
Yeah.
something bad,
We're
guess
not
who's
gonna.
making a video first?
Yeah. Exactly. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All right. But all right. I think that's it for that opinion. Let's just keep going.
To the point
Yeah.
where like I'm constantly seeing people like rail on like established classics like GoldenEye or Ocarina of Time. You know, like it's crazy how people will
I
call
think those
GoldenEye
games are good.
outdated, but then
They
turn
are.
around and like praise
Yeah.
Doom or like those old school like PC shooters. Like you start noticing
PC
like
shooters.
the pattern here is that like only Nintendo games aren't allowed to be classics. Only Nintendo games
What?
are
No one is saying that.
Everyone.
Everyone collectively agrees that games like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, etc., are classics. Like the
Yeah,
original
yeah.
Mario Bros. Is a classic.
Like
Super
I hear
Mario
that all the
64 is a classic. I hear
Yeah.
stuff like this all the time.
Yeah.
No one is saying that these
Yeah,
games
same.
are no one's trying to gatekeep and say that they can't be classics.
Yeah,
But there
they
are
classics.
there are classics whenever it comes to fresh eras. Like, you know, whenever PC gaming
Yeah.
started really taking off, whenever Doom was available
Yeah.
on the PC, even whenever Quake came out and Half-Life,
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's when stuff like that really started to pop off. So
Yeah.
like there are classics for all eras. I would even consider stuff like I mean like a few years later down the road, but like launch titles for like well at this point they're considered, I guess, like the first Metal Gear Solid could be considered a
Yeah.
classic in a
I
lot
would
of ways.
say, yeah. A lot of people would say classic.
Yeah, and I mean like years later people are going to look back at the PS4 and Xbox One era and say that launch titles for that were classics.
Yeah.
You know? And
What
like
launch?
yeah, and in a lot of years,
Joking.
and people are also going to look back and say Breath of the Wild was a classic,
Yeah.
and maybe even Tears of
I
the
don't
Kingdom
think.
too.
Well,
Like,
I think like people will look back at that and be like, like. I don't think people will be like they are with Ocarina of Time and be like, oh man, I love that game. They'll be like, it had some issues, but I enjoyed it. Right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
what I
see,
think.
but the difference between normal fans and Harman is that he just doesn't want to admit whenever a game has a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's evident
The
with his
Nintendo
Pokemon,
game.
with the Pokemon
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet.
Your view is so narrow-minded or whatever. I can't wait
I mean,
for him to use that
it's
again.
true though. It's true. Like he just wants to, like, because he claims that he doesn't brush off any problems that a game might have and like try and downplay play them and make it look better than it actually is. Even though that's exactly what he did with the new Pokemon games.
Oh.
He did just that.
Oh.
There's straight up a video of him ignoring bugs and glitches for 5 minutes and trying to say that the game is good. Which, I mean, outside of technical issues, maybe it's good. That's what I mean, in all fairness, that's exactly what I saw with Cyberpunk. I didn't ignore the issues, though. I definitely acknowledged that it had its issues and that tons of stuff was missing from the game at launch. But through all of it, I think at its core, it was always a fine game. It just desperately needed those fixes. And here we are 3 years later, and it's in a considerably better state.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So, yeah, no, nobody's making this claim that those games can't be classics, because in their own right they are.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country,
Yeah.
original Mario Bros. All this stuff is classics on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like we just
I
said,
would.
And like we just said, they set the foundation for video games. If it wasn't for Nintendo, we wouldn't have great games that we have today.
We wouldn't even be here. Like,
Exactly,
making this
exactly. Like, honestly, like, in a lot of ways, I don't think we wouldn't have even gotten games like Skyrim.
Yeah, and BG3 and all that.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Harman never actually goes into detail about anything he likes or hates, just consensus, consensus, consensus. I mean, yeah. Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He just kind of says, "Oh, yeah, this is good for reasons X, Y, and Z." I mean, like we said about his top 10 list, like, it wasn't necessarily the picks themselves, even though admittedly it did feel very safe and like it was done by a game journalist. It felt like his picks aside, you know what, they're his favorite games, whatever. That doesn't matter at the end of the day. But it's the way that he handled it. And with his list, his video being an hour long, you would expect him to go into more detail about the combat, about the level design, about anything. But he just kind of says reasons X, Y, and Z, and then goes off on a tirade about how Japanese developers are superior to Western devs.
Yeah, I remember
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Not allowed to be game of the year. Only PC gaming is relevant, right? Nothing PC gamers do is wrong. And if you ever talk about any of it, you're
That's
a
not true.
problem, right? If you talk about any of the things they do,
Oh, yeah,
any of the
yeah.
criminal activities they've committed, the
Talking about emulation.
if you talk
Oh,
about
yeah,
how
yeah.
they're harassing people, and you talk about the
Okay.
issues, the very
Okay.
real issues.
I think a lot of people, like Harman, don't understand what emulation is, right? Okay,
Yeah.
let me break it down. Emulation itself isn't illegal, like emulators, like Dolphin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That
what else?
isn't illegal.
Mm-hmm. Actually, playing and downloading games to play yourself is not illegal. It's where you get to distributing it and uploading it to websites is where you run into legal issues.
Yeah, that's like very illegal.
That in its own right is illegal. And plus, not to mention what Nintendo is doing by making you pay for a paid service to play these games through
Yeah.
a streaming service is emulation. It's exactly what it is.
Yep.
It's straight up emulation.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just have to pay to play for it. That's it.
Yeah, they used emulation for 3D All Stars, and it's just like that's hilarious. Because people were
Exactly.
they're like, that's hilarious. You guys hate emulators, but yeah, it's okay for you guys to use them on your own games.
Mm-hmm. And you have to pay to play it, right?
Yeah. 60
When you
bucks.
could just, like,
well, not
yeah.
anymore.
Well, not anymore.
Because
No, it's not
Yeah,
available
'cause it
anymore.
doesn't-
I
yeah.
did buy it though, just because I really wanted
same.
I guess a quote unquote more legal way to play Mario 64.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
bought it because at the time I wanted it because at the time I also wanted to own them and I didn't have a PC and I
Yeah.
don't want to play on my phone because I'd rather have a bigger screen to play it. So
Yeah.
I actually got it on Christmas with my Switch,
Oh
right?
wow, nice.
Yeah. When it was still being sold, I was like, wow, that's awesome. And so man, it was like being transported to like 1995 and playing Mario 64 when you
Yeah.
got it for Christmas on your 64. That's what I did, but instead I did the Switch, put 3D All Stars in, and was just playing it, bro. Playing 64 is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But like,
love
yeah, no,
Mario 64.
it's a good game. But like he it's also through an emulator. Like there's no other way to play it unless it's through an emulator or unless you want to go on like a big scavenger hunt to find an N64 or a or like all these old classic games because you're gonna have to pay a fortune. At this point, you're gonna have to pay a fortune to get that stuff. So like and it's also not easy to come by either. So you're gonna have to like either cough up the money or just keep going around just trying to find this
Bite the
stuff.
bullet and just do piracy.
Exactly. Like at this point, it's just a more convenient not piracy. Emulation is a more convenient way. It's It's a more convenient way and a more accessible way for people to play these games. Because I mean, not everybody has a gaming PC or has the money for one, but every family has a laptop to some degree, right?
Yeah,
even like a family-owned
most
laptop can run an emulator.
Yeah.
Like
most laptops can run 64 games.
Yeah, they can definitely.
Yeah. At the very least.
with
Yeah. To be honest, Harman has been doxxed but by people from Kiwi Farms before the console war. Salt miner YouTubers caught wind of him, but nothing came of said doxing as a result. Did he really get doxed?
On Kiwi
I mean
Farm.
on Kiwi Farms. That honestly doesn't. If it was from people on Kiwi Farms, that's like, you know, the 4chan for lolcow, or the
Yeah.
yeah. So like for lolcows, so like it doesn't surprise me that shitty people would be on there trying to dox him.
Yeah.
I personally don't condone that. So if any of you
Yeah,
are seeing this and are like, oh yeah, I wonder where he lives, like don't do that. Don't go and harass him. Don't release his
PSA.
PSA. Don't release his private information out there. We're just here to poke fun at him. We're not here to look for any. We're not here. We're not here for any malicious intent or try to like get him killed or anything. That's not our intention at all. So guys, please do not do that. That's just really, really shitty.
But it is funny that he got tossed on.
That is kind of funny, but nothing came. I mean, as a result, nothing came of it.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
which is, I mean,
that's
if
good.
nothing came of it, that's a good thing. So, all right, let's keep going.
PC gaming, like that makes you a problem, one that has to be dealt with. And I think like seeing how this is all playing out, seeing how aggressively they're coming after people for, you know, making fun of PC gaming, right? Making fun of non-Nintendo platforms. Like, I think it's safe to say, like, just why the gaming community is so anti-Nintendo.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I don't like pausing every 5 seconds, but like.
I don't either, but like he says something dumb he says something dumb every 5 seconds, so it's hard not to. Like.
Yeah, and he just answered his own question. He's like, "Why are people making fun of me for making fun of PC gaming and non-Nintendo platforms?"
You're right.
That's the exact reason. You just answered your own question.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, everything is free game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're on the internet, right? There are no rules, right? You can't. It's not like a RPG where we all take turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you make fun of something, then we're gonna make fun of you for making fun of something, and especially if you do it poorly, right?
Exactly.
If you don't do it right, then we're gonna make fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, like the internet is still, for the most part, a lawless land. Like if you put yourself out there, and you what is it? If you just, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If you just put yourself out there and you just like, you know, no fucks given, like people, you are immediately open to criticism. That's what that's just a paraphrase of what you already said, but still.
Mm-hmm. He's been so far, like, up till, like, when we did our video about him, up till that point, he was taking it pretty well.
I was going to say, he was taking it pretty well by not even addressing it at all. Like, he would address other people that he doesn't...
But then when we made our video, I guess...
Yeah. I guess we struck a nerve or something. Like...
We were, I guess we were the straw that broke the camel's back. Our video,
I guess so,
I mean,
but our stream,
Yeah,
he does bring it up later, but he strawmans an argument that I never even made, so I can't wait to get to that. But just a paraphrase of what you already said. Like, once you put yourself out there, you are immediately open to criticism.
Yep, it's fair game, right?
And to his credit, everyone shitting on him, he handled relatively well by not really addressing it. And he just kept calling out people that he doesn't like Nick Ricada or Darkside Phil or
whatever.
Fuck, what was it? Angry Joe. Yeah. Like just whoever he just doesn't like for whatever stupid reason. But for some reason we're special and we struck a nerve with him. Like,
it's probably because we criticize the way he makes videos. I don't understand.
Or the way he did his list. I mean, I'll say this. If it came across that way, that we were trying to insult his list, if it came across that way, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to. I never meant to come across
confused.
I was confused
like,
too.
No More Heroes is like, I never heard of that again. Okay.
Yeah.
Get ready.
And like we said in the original stream, a niche title being in your what is it? In your
list?
original, in your list, yes, in your top 10 list, that's fine. That
Yeah,
is completely okay. We're not judging that at all. We're just
That's fine. Yeah.
simply stating that, hey, we never heard of this
We
game
were just
before.
weirded out.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I have heard of the game, but like
well,
I
yeah,
didn't know much of
yeah. But I
it,
personally had
right?
never heard of it before, so
So I was like, it's fine, like right? Like
yeah,
we all have that game that no one's ever heard of, or that unpopular opinion in our list too. So like,
yeah. Everybody has one, and that's not a bad thing. But
yeah, we were
but
just
like,
weirded out, right?
yeah,
We were just like, what's this? Well,
yeah. That's
I
it.
knew what it was, but I didn't know much about it because I remember again seeing it on that Nintendo Direct a couple
Mhm.
years back. But yeah, I was like, that's odd, but whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, and then Yoshi's Island being number one, I was like, that's odd too. But again, his list. I mean, I wouldn't have put it there. I wouldn't even included it in my top 10. But whatever,
Right.
right? That's his opinion.
Mhm.
And but
Yeah.
we really
Exactly.
were criticizing the way he reviewed stuff, right? We weren't
Yeah.
trying to like say, "Oh, this list sucks." Like all
Yeah.
these games suck, right?
Yeah.
We were just like, "Oh, the way he's like telling us like, "Oh, so this game is good because it's good."
Yeah. Which is essentially what it
What?
all boiled down to. Yeah. Yeah. Essentially what it all boiled down to. And
Like, yeah, I don't want to
yeah.
kick a dead horse,
Yeah.
or anything, but like, if
Yeah.
I reviewed it, if I did it, I would be like, it's good because like there's a certain part of the game that I really liked, or the reason why it's on this list is because we'll say combat. The combat feels really nice. The
Mhm.
combo chains feel really good to hit. Like, and there's
Yeah.
weight to the punches. I already said this in that stream, but I'll say
Mhm.
it again, right?
Yeah.
And I won't take too long. Like his video
Mhm.
was an hour. I could probably
Yeah.
make that, and it would be like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll do it
Maybe.
half
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and I'll somehow
Exactly.
figure out how to say more stuff in only
Yeah.
half the time.
Yeah. You won't ramble on about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Harman, try not to
Of
be
course.
weird challenge. Level impossible. Like, if you read
That
a
is fact.
if you go to Amazon and read a sample of his books, you'll see
Oh, we
just
gotta read
how
that.
impossible that is. So
We gotta read that. That's gotta be
yeah,
the best.
we do. So, but we gotta try and make it through the video first. So.
Yes.
Because these kinds of people aggressively come out of the woodwork to downplay everything Nintendo does. Like the way
No.
Just
No.
simply not true.
the way
No,
people talk
I've never
about
downplayed
like
that.
Nintendo in 2023, like you would legit think that like only Zelda came out that year, right? But
I mean,
Well,
there.
that was
I
the
mean,
only
let me
game
see
that
this.
they.
It was like
guys
the only
on
game that they
commercials.
really pushed
Yeah.
to like be their top dog that year.
Yeah,
The
that
only
is the
the
top
only
dog.
other two were like Mario Wonder, which one didn't
Yeah.
have any advertising at all,
Yeah.
and two
I mean, it
like
was
barely
good.
anybody even knew about it. I will say, like
Except for like us Mario fans. I liked it. I like Mario
yeah,
Wonder. It was
yeah.
good.
I have
It
not.
deserved the award it got.
I should
Right.
probably play it because I like Mario games.
Yeah, you should.
And if it's
It's
a
really good.
sequel, is it a sequel to Odyssey?
No, it's
No.
not. It's
Okay.
like its own 2D platformer thing.
Okay. Then yeah, I need to give it a shot then because I like Mario games. I like 2D
Oh,
Mario. I think it would be
I
fun.
just remembered something. Um,
Huh.
you know what else Harman doesn't like?
Oh god.
Switch 2 stuff.
Oh
Switch
yeah,
2
yeah, he
rumors.
does. Okay, I don't want to
Hate
go as
those.
far as saying it's gonna be the Switch 2, but we should be
Yeah, I would
expecting.
say Switch Pro.
I would say that maybe, but I would say
Metroid
we
Prime
should be
4.
we should be
like-
expecting a new Nintendo console this year.
Either a
I'm
Switch
just gonna say that
Pro
straight up.
or a whole new console maybe.
Yeah,
And
he
Metroid Prime
hates
4 will be a launch
Yeah.
title, right?
right. He hates Switch 2 stuff, but to give due diligence, to give him credit, I don't like. I was gonna say. I mean, I'm almost positive it's gonna be a thing because if history is gonna repeat itself, you saw what they did after the success of the Wii, right? The Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii
That's
U,
what
yeah.
happened. That is
And
what
then
happened.
the 3,
So
and then the DS, it was
any-
the 3DS.
yeah, exactly. If anything, they're probably gonna do another take on the Switch, but
Switch.
it's gonna be slightly different.
I
And
would
it's just
call
gonna
it like
be worse than
they
the original
should
Switch.
Nintendo. Okay, big brain idea. Nintendo should call it the Super Switch, the Super Nintendo Switch. Like this is NES. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Switch. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't call it the new Nintendo Switch because that's
Yeah,
dumb.
exactly. Yeah.
Call it the Super Nintendo Switch. But yeah,
Part
like
part
they're
right.
continue.
No, sorry, I was just reading chat. Part of my motivation
Oh.
for writing and so on is now partially to flex on Harman. Okay, I get that because I mean I'm okay. Once we get to his book, I'll just say this straight up. I'm not a writer. I don't write for a living at all, so I don't really know what to look for when it
I
comes to
aspire to
professional novels. But I will say most of us have been learning how to read since a young age, right? So I think we all know what to look for in a good story and how things are written in a cohesive way and just overall what makes a story good. I think we all know what to look for in that. So,
Yeah, so we'll read
really,
like a couple
yeah.
pages. How much is in the snippet?
It's like the first full chapter.
Oh, okay.
It might take a little bit to get through, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
fine.
let's see here.
But yeah, like
Sup, fellow Harman
I
Smith
will.
hater? What's up, that PlayStation gamer? Or should I say that OnlyFans gamer? Okay, that's the only time I'm gonna make that joke. I promise. I promise. That's the only time I'm gonna make that joke.
Okay.
I can see his belly.
So,
Yeah, I know, right? He needs to pull down his fucking shirt. That's not talk about like presenting yourself in a presentable way. That's not presentable at all. You look like a fucking slob.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Sorry.
I will give Harman some credit. The Switch 2 rumors are annoying,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because they're always like they always change, right? At first it's like, oh, it's gonna run the new Final Fantasy VII, right? Remakes, and then it's like, oh, it might not be multiplat. Oh, but it is gonna be multiplat. It's just like they keep changing, and I'm like, yeah, it's getting annoying at this point. I do think something is coming, though. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not if, but when.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's just gonna be like a pro model,
Yeah.
or maybe a whole like different thing, but like pro. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna be the same Switch, but like better,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And what do I think? I think it will be like the same power as like an Xbox One, maybe more powerful than an Xbox One.
Yeah, because at this point Nintendo needs something that can run modern games and can compete with the market. Because the way how the Switch is right now, it just can't. It can't.
I think that if they make a console the same power as the Xbox One, because game companies still make games for the Xbox One and PS4 and all that, right? So I think they can totally get away with a lot of, like, if they make it like the Xbox One, I think they don't have to worry about games being crappy anymore. Well, I mean, they'll still won't be as good as like Xbox Series and PS5 or whatever, but they will still be pretty good, I think. They'll still look a lot better than they do now. Right?
Right.
So, like, my wishes for the Switch Pro is that, or whatever it's going to be called, is that it's backwards compatible, full backwards compatibility. Like, and then, like, also that when it's backwards compatible, like the new Nintendo 3DS, it will boost frame rate and boost resolution and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the wish.
I have the honor of being banned from his chat and also making a video replying to me. So do I. I mean, I'm not banned from his chat. I don't go to his live streams like whenever he's live. If I do, I'll just like kind of lurk, but I won't like say anything.
Yeah. I don't watch his live.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll tune in from time to time.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'll tune in from time to time, but I won't like I won't really say anything. Just because I don't want any more drama with him. But even though I'm still living in his head rent free, apparently. So, but yeah, no, he made a video replying to me too, which I thought was just really, really funny. In a stream, he blamed his mom and dad for getting a job. Did he really? Did he really pull a Chris Chan and just like blame his mom and dad for getting a job and just get ass mad over that? Because if he did, that's fucking pathetic. He's the never-ending cow to milk? Yeah. I mean, he's like honestly the next Christian I think that gamers are just gonna use to like milk for laughs. But I don't know if he's gonna like. I don't know if he's necessarily gonna get trolled.
Sorry,
No,
I had to
you're.
sign my soul away.
Oh,
No,
you're
I'm
good.
joking.
You're good. You're good, man. We were just talking about. I was just talking about how Harman Smith might be the next Chris Chan, but he's not going to be nearly as trolled
Oh yeah.
as much as Chris Chan was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
He's the Chris Chan of gaming.
Yeah,
Right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Like,
Alright,
I mean, he's not making up characters like Sonic 2, but then there's
oh yeah,
sexy
no.
vampire
I mean,
women
yeah.
that
So
are
he,
in high
in a way,
school.
he is making up his own very weird characters, but he's not like, you know,
It's not like
not
Chris
like
Chan where it's
it's
like
not like
Sonic.
Chris Chan. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt he has a self-insert in his books either.
He probably does. I haven't read it, so
Probably. Well, we'll see.
I'm so tempted to buy it, but I don't want to give money to Harman Smith.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm so tempted to buy it too, but yeah, I don't want to give Harman my
might buy
money.
it.
So yeah,
I may buy it.
that's why I'm only
No.
doing the self-insert. Or
Yeah.
not self-insert, this free sample. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. So
Oh yeah, you know he's gonna make fun of that if he does a response.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he always
oh,
does that. I remember that. I was like, why are you doing that? You do the same thing. I could, so literally, side note, before we continue, I was watching a video by this girl who's like a big Souls player, you know, from
I think you
Soft
sent that to the server.
Yeah, I sent it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched the video too. It was a good video.
He coughs, and she just dies laughing. He's like,
Like sneezes.
she's like,
Yeah,
you can edit
he
that
could-
out.
Exactly. Like he can't bother to just edit stuff out and like edit out all his fluff, or else
Like, but he
it
makes
wouldn't
fun
be
of us
nearly as
for,
long.
for messing up on stream, right?
Exactly. Like he makes fun of us for messing up and like stuttering.
Yeah,
on
that's why, like,
stream.
If he,
Especially-
if he, okay,
Especially when a
I-
common thing, whenever, you know,
Yeah.
like I said in that stream, I was drunk. So I'm gonna slur my words.
you're an enabler, or I'm an enabler for making you drunk, apparently, as well. Remember that, what was his name?
Retrofusion Gaming, he called you an enabler. Just
Call me
because
an enabler.
even though one, you're younger than me, and
Yeah.
two, I made my own decision to get drunk on stream. And he's trying
Yeah,
to say
but
that that's
I'm
like
an enabler.
he's trying to say that that's bad behavior. Like it's
Like,
not
I'm
like
the one
it's not
who-
like
yeah.
it's not like I got drunk, came on stream and started spouting racial slurs or anything.
Bad
Like that's
behavior,
that is
yeah,
not
that would be like...
that would be bad. That would be very
Yeah.
bad. But that nothing like that
Yeah.
happened. That didn't
Yeah.
happen. So like
You would get
Why?
banned off of YouTube, probably. If it-
probably
like,
yes.
My thing is, like, if you don't get banned off of YouTube, then, like, it's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
Because you were just drunk, and, like, you were, like,
Maybe
you know, you were in your-
my thoughts weren't cohesive.
Yeah.
I slurred over my words.
That's about the...
but
yeah, that's, like, the worst thing you did.
yeah, I was gonna say like that's probably the furthest extent. Like
And you weren't, like, driving or something, or
yeah,
at work.
exactly. Like
You
I
were
was
at
just
your
sitting.
house.
I was sitting in my room and we were reacting to Harman Smith. I got drunk. Like what's so bad about that, right? Like I'm
I
not
don't think
hurting.
that's
I'm
like-
not hurting
yeah.
anybody. Like,
Yeah.
but for some reason he
Like-
got ass mad over that. And what?
Yeah.
Like also he never
Well, it's
elaborated
because-
on what made you
Yeah.
an enabler. Like how are you?
Yeah.
How are you an enabler in that situation? Like
It was just like he didn't have an argument, but he wanted to make his points seem really good. So he was like, I'll throw in
he
I'll
just
throw
spouts-
in enabler.
Yeah. Like he just used
And
a big
so-
boy word to sound like he knows what he's fucking talking about.
And I gotta tell everyone this. This is funny.
Oh.
If you go to that chat, you can see it. But he says to me, to my face, he goes, so I tell him, I'm like, do you really think everyone in Harman's server is not a troll? Like, there are tons of other trolls in there, right?
Mhm.
And he goes, I kid you not, you can go read it yourself if you want to. He goes, yeah, I know that. But, like, we pretend to be all salty so that, you know, so we can troll them. And I'm like, I put my hands in my head. I'm like, sorry, my microphone fell. I'm like,
No, you're good.
you're an idiot. You're an idiot because think about it, right? That makes 0 sense. So if you're pretending to be salty for the trolls don't know you're pretending, right?
Mhm.
So you're still giving them what they want. You still look like an idiot online, whether you're being real or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not trolling. That's just being an idiot,
Yeah.
right? Just don't be salty. If you're pretending to be salty, don't be salty to troll the trolls, right? Because the biggest troll would be not being salty and you guys being normal, right? And
Mhm.
nothing. And then they'll just leave, right? They'll leave the server out of boredom.
Mhm.
But you're going around like pretending to be salty. You're just giving them what they want, whether they know you're being real or not. That's not a troll. That's just giving them what they want. And
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
it's a real cope. It's definitely a cope because he's
That is a
actually
cope.
salty.
Mhm.
But he's
That
like,
is a
no,
cope.
no, I'm not salty. I'm just pretending to be
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
trolls. I'm just
But
pretending to be salty. You know,
yeah.
that's like child behavior. It's like I'm not mad because you took my toy away.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
it.
I'm just pretending.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's hilarious. But yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's continue though.
All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Meanwhile, we got like lots of really great games. It wasn't as solid in 2022 by any stretch of the imagination, but we got lots of good stuff.
2022 was a
got-
bad year for
We got stuff
Nintendo.
like
I don't even remember what. I don't. Did anything come out in
It was
2022?
Xenoblade
Xenoblade.
and was like one of the only good games they had that year. But
Okay.
that's about it. And even then, like I've heard fans say it's like it's fine.
Clearly
It's
have no.
fine.
Clearly have no clue what you were talking about, Webbs. Well,
Why did I have no clue what I was talking about?
exactly. What did he say
What-
that
what
he
did-
just doesn't know what
who's-
he's talking? What does he not know that he's talking
Who's
about?
fighting me here?
Retro
Who is
Fusion
that? Who
Gaming.
said Oh, he's here.
He's
Oh.
in chat. Thanks for the free clout,
Hi,
buddy.
buddy.
Thanks for the free clout.
I actually like his shorts though. I do watch them occasionally.
I haven't seen any of his shorts, so I
They're
don't know.
they're kind of funny.
Okay. All right, let's continue Harman's video.
I like.
firing up an engaged.
I still think that's funny. Let me check his Discord. Oh no, it's not. No, our video isn't in his Discord, so I guess he was prowling around your channel.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Thanks for the sub, by the way.
Wait,
You're my
wait, wait.
I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah. What was it? Harman actually admits to stalking my channel later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does. He does. So
Honestly,
yeah,
though, like
I mean, that's
I mean, we can't really talk.
yeah, we can't talk because I lurk around his channel too. Like
I don't really lurk around his channel. I just wait for someone to tell me when he says something.
right. And I mean, I wasn't planning on like talking about him because I know I've been kind of annoying talking about him a lot lately. But like he just says so much stupid stuff that it's hard not to. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, no, I've just been annoying with it, and I just wanted to kind of like give it a rest, like stop talking about him that much. But he's
Yeah.
still going on. He's still going
He's
on.
an
so, like,
enabler.
if my shorts don't prove I troll, what does?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
his
I don't
shorts
watch
are
your
like-
content. So.
So basically, let me explain. I'll explain. His shorts are like, PC. So, I remember, I think one of the newer ones. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the newer ones, like these people are like flexing. They have $3,000 PCs, and he was like, he basically rage baits essentially.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's like a rage baiter, and
Yeah.
honestly though, it's kind of funny.
So it's just funny rage bait. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
I get
very
you.
funny.
Okay, I get you. All right, let's continue his.
Yeah.
the
Harman,
Advance
pull
Wars
down!
remake, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is my personal game of the year. Like, it's so strange to me that.
Then
like,
why did
Yeah,
you
that's one of
sim
my
so hard?
games.
Why'd you sim so hard for Tears of the Kingdom then? Like, why didn't you do that same level of simping for Mario Wonder? Why did you simp so hard for Tears of the Kingdom? If you liked Mario Wonder more, that doesn't make sense
Well,
to me. Something's not
I
adding
don't
up here.
know.
I just don't get it. So you're like, Mario Wonder is your game of the year, fine. I'm not trying to say your opinion's invalidated in any way, but why didn't you do that same level of simping? Why did you keep bringing up Tears of the Kingdom whenever people would bring up other games? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't.
I I agree though. Mario Wonder was Nintendo's best game this year, though. That is true.
I haven't played it, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, but I played
Con-
it anyway.
You're
It's
right.
their best game this year.
Right. Console warring is cool though. No, it's not. You're a fucking loser if you console war. Like,
I
I know
remember.
that that's
wait,
probably
wait,
just
hold
that
on.
is probably just a troll. That's probably just a troll.
Hold
but
on,
I
hold
ha-
on, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
He compared. Yeah. He compared console warring to football.
What?
He compared it to
Okay.
football. He's like,
That's
because
not.
someone on the
That is
server.
not the
There's so-
same.
Because someone on the server. Hold on, let me read it. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh,
Because someone
no.
on his server was like, console warring is for losers or something like that. Let me read it real quick. Let me find it. I have to scroll up a bit. And then he goes, I'm reading. Let's see, where is it? Good gosh, I can't find anything. Where the heck is it? There's so much in here. Whatever, okay. Whatever, right? I'll just paraphrase. But basically, he equates console warring to, like, rooting for a football team and stuff like that. Even though, like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, console warring, because, like, with football, right? Football is like a sport. Every year, they compete, right?
Mm-hmm.
They compete to win a trophy. Your team,
Mhm.
right? And your team usually is a team that's in your state, or it's in another state, right, that's close to you. Like, because I'm from Oklahoma, and we don't have a pro football team, right? We don't have a pro football team, so we root for the Dallas Cowboys, or anywhere around that area usually. I do Dallas Cowboys, right? So usually football is, like, tied to you in some way.
Yeah.
Right? But with console wars, what are they going for? Like, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation aren't competing to get a trophy, right?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no trophy. You're like, it is fun making fun of people that console war though. But like also football fans aren't calling other people like stupid. Well, they probably are, but like for owning or for liking a different team. Well, there probably are some toxic football fans, but like,
well, yeah, there are. That's where I was gonna say the comparison comes
Yeah.
in, is whenever people fanboy
Yeah.
so hard for something that fights actually break out over it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard
of course.
multiple stories of fights breaking out at a football game, and I just never
Yeah.
understood it. Like, I'm not, granted, I'm not that big of a sports guy, so I don't really know. I don't get like the hype and understanding of people fighting over sports teams. I just don't get it. I don't understand it, and I can see the comparison that you would draw, but it's not at all the
I
same
see it,
because
yeah.
I see
It's
it,
not the
but
same.
it's not the same
Yeah.
because it's mostly just over the internet. Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's just opinions on video games. Like, it's not
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Like, and also there are multiple football teams. There's only like what 3 major consoles and PC. So
Yeah.
like, and also it's just like dumb because video game it's not the same. It's just hard to explain, but it's not the same. Like,
it's a hard thing to explain for sure, but
like,
yeah, they're just not
because
the same. WWE versus
like,
WC or AEW. Okay, I'm a wrestling fan, so I can see the parallel here.
ooh, I can't speak
Like,
on wrestling.
Right.
I like
right.
wrestling, but like
Marvel
I'm not big with
Marvel versus DC. But see, this is the thing, right?
wrestling. That's
like,
dumb.
Yeah, like
That was
that's
dumb. I hate
that is
Marvel versus
that is
DC.
dumb because they all largely, right? They all largely, for the most part, have the same games, except there are exclusives titled to this, there are exclusives titled to that.
Yeah, except
and
exclusives.
and then of course there's stuff with objectively better hardware, and then you have the Switch.
Yeah.
Like there's genuinely no debate there.
Yeah.
But people like Harman love
Right.
to pretend like there is something there, but there just isn't. They live in their own fantasy world.
He pretends like the Switch is perfect, right?
Yeah. I guess like with
Yeah,
the
he wants to
fanboys.
pretend like the Switch is perfect.
Yeah. All entertainment is the same? No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when it comes down to...
no.
No, it's not. When it comes to fanboying, I can see the parallel. Like, people fight over one thing over the other.
Honestly, fanboying, like, okay.
Is like the only thing that they have
Fanboying across
similarly.
everything is the same.
Yeah, fanboying across everything is the
Because
exact.
they
is the
always
same.
do the same things.
Yeah, they shill for
Yeah.
one thing, people
They
disagree,
always
and then
do
they
the
fight.
same thing every time. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying though,
Wait, hold on.
fanboying in general is cringe.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
WWE is objectively better production value and better wrestlers. AEW has better wrestling. I'm not going to go off on a tirade about wrestling because we need to get back to the video and get back to the point at hand.
WWE.
But I'm just going to say your taste in wrestling.
WWE is more like WWE feels more commercialized from what I've seen.
Well, yeah,
Like,
they got more
handful
PG over the years for sure. But
yeah,
your taste in wrestling,
nowadays it seems more commercialized.
Yeah, your taste in wrestling is subjective. Like that's what it is. Like your favorite wrestling match could be different from another person's favorite wrestling match.
I like MMA and kickboxing and all that.
Right. Yeah, my favorite wrestling match could be like The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28. Your favorite wrestling match could be CM Punk versus MJF.
I don't understand a word.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm going off. We're getting off topic.
No, who won that
Let's
fight?
try and continue the video.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
But no, before we continue, who won that fight between The Rock and John Cena?
Huh? Who won the fight?
You said The Rock and John Cena fought.
Yeah, The Rock won.
Of course, he's like humongous.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's also like, wrestling is also scripted, so like,
yeah.
Yeah, the winner is predetermined.
It's funny,
but of course, fans don't know that.
That's
so.
why I like MMA. Yeah, that's why I like MMA. I think.
Right. Yeah. MMA is
they're
unscripted.
killing each other, and it's
they're trying to kill each other essentially. It's fun to watch.
It's gladiator fight.
Right.
We should bring those back. No, JK.
TPG got a Discord I can join. You go to any of my videos, I've got it in my in the description. So just go to any of my newer videos. I've got a link down in the description.
Or go to like his channel about section, and it should be there.
It might be there. I think I reworked my about section.
Yeah.
It should be there.
Let me look right.
Retrofusion though, if you join and you start causing nonsense, you're gonna get banned. Like, it's gonna happen. So.
Anyone that joins and causes nonsense, yeah, we had a big purge. I remember that. We don't want to go into that.
Yeah, I don't want to raid or have to purge my server. So, all right.
Yeah,
let's
it's in
continue.
your link.
Did you put it in? Is someone gonna put it in chat? You want to put it in chat?
Oh yeah, I can totally do that.
Okay.
Totally.
I am nonsense. Yeah, that's very evident. All right. Do you think you'll be able to listen if I go ahead and just press play on the video?
Yeah. I can listen.
Okay.
Like, the narrative has been that, like, I was upset that Tears of the Kingdom lost Game of the Year at the Game Awards when I made it very clear, like, going into this, that, like, Super Mario Bros. Wonder was my pick. But, like, it's like, okay, like, it was such a weird thing with the Game Awards because all of these
that's
people
weird. The link
were
isn't working.
Around.
It's not? Hold on.
Yeah, that link isn't working. That's weird.
Use copy.
Let me... Yeah, I copied and pasted it.
Hold on. Wait, expire after. Okay, that was my problem.
Yeah, you probably should fix...
Yeah, I should have. That was my mistake. I should have fixed that. Like, because it said that it expired after 7 days.
There you go.
And I didn't realize that you could change the link for it to not expire. So, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's there. Now I'll start whenever from now on. Or I could just go back and edit my descriptions. I can put that link there, and it'll never expire. Anyone that wants to join, they can.
Yeah, you can pin comments. Yeah, you can pin comments, so you can just pin your Discord thing in the live stream.
He's here.
Oh boy,
I'm just gonna do that. It's not it's
Hi,
not retro.
PlayStation
It's not retro.
gamer.
Yeah, hey that PlayStation gamer. Welcome to the server.
Welcome to hell on earth.
Nah, my server's fine. It's not like some others though. Okay. All right, let's continue the video.
Okay.
On this idea, right? This
Gamer.
concept that like, oh man, Harman Smith is going to be upset when the PC game wins. But like in the end, that didn't happen.
'Cause he
like they like fabricated this narrative that I would
It's
freak
not
out.
PC
and
though.
when that
It's
didn't happen,
Wait,
because
hold on.
multi-plat, but whatever.
I've said several times over the years that the Game Awards are corrupt and that we shouldn't take it seriously. If anything, I was more upset at the.
Hey, I call Cap. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen here.
Listen.
Everyone sit around the campfire. I remember before it came out, he was like talking about the Game Awards constantly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Tears of the
he got-
Kingdom is gonna
he
win.
got-
and people
yeah.
saying BG3 and Starfield and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
around like it's
They're
really,
losers.
Baldur's
right?
Gate 3's release period. Whenever that game first came out, people were hyping it up, and he had to make a video just going like it has any shot against Tears of the Kingdom's Game of the Year award. Like that shows how ass mad you were whenever
that's why
whenever
I'm
it
like,
happened.
okay.
You were coping so hard whenever it won. Like it's not even funny.
I don't like the Game Awards. Okay.
Yeah,
think
I
it's
don't
dumb.
I don't either.
The only
think
reason
they're
I
rigged.
watched is for like.
I didn't even
commercials.
watch the Game Awards to begin
Yeah,
with.
they're
But
rigged,
what
'cause
made me they are
literally,
rigged. Yeah, what made
10%
me
of the,
what made me stop taking it seriously was 2020,
They
a
are
game
so
called
rigged.
and that TPG, you're going to disagree with me
yeah.
here, but The Last of Us
Oh,
Part
yeah.
2. That it getting Doom Eternal getting snubbed for best
Yeah.
score and then a bunch of other games. I don't remember what all came out in 2020, but I know Doom Eternal came out that year. So anything else probably getting snubbed for best soundtrack is just bad. That was bad. Like, and The Last of Us Part 2 winning multiple awards. That's what made me believe it was rigged.
It's all rigged from the start.
It was. It
That's
was.
a New
Yeah.
Vegas reference.
But I guarantee you, I'm
And,
willing
like,
to bet
yeah,
money
that's what I
that
said.
Harman is going to be
literally
reacting to it again this
10%.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So keep going,
10% of
sorry.
the players' votes or whatever actually 10% of the votes like that we do like it only counts for 10%, literally. Everything else is described by or is finished by journalists. So literally 90% of the vote is just journalism, right? And only 10% is us, like we the people. So like it's really what the journalists like that year, right? So that's why The Last of Us 2 won. That was a popular journalist thing that they all liked. You know, same thing with BG3. Same thing with Elden Ring. You know, whether those games are good or not is completely subjective. But the journalists loved that. You know, so they were like, it's a winner. You know, we don't decide who wins. Like the Game Awards are a joke, in my opinion. And it's so funny seeing everyone get mad over it. And it's just like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, and then, like, look, Hogwarts Legacy wasn't in any of them. Starfield was in one category, and it was set up to fail. So, like, you know, it's really just what's popular.
Yeah, really, is what it boils
journalists.
down to.
So if a journalist doesn't like the
likes
game, it's probably not going to be in there.
Yeah, probably not. Hot take, I agree. The Last of Us 2 shouldn't have won Game of the Year, but should have been nominated. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I definitely get what you're saying.
I can agree with.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can kind of see that, even though I personally.
The remake came out this year. Do you think it's going to get nominated for
the
Game of the Year
remaster?
this
Is
year?
it going to get
for The Last of Us
nominated
2.
for the remaster?
Remaster.
Yeah, is it going to get nominated? but is my
That
favorite
will
game
be
of 2020?
funny.
But that's my opinion.
It will.
It probably will. It'll at least get nominated. But is my favorite game of 2020? But that's my opinion. That's fine.
That is.
I mean, like you're allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to enjoy the game. But I completely disagree.
I lied. No,
the game of the year that never should have been been there, and it takes two. I mean, your opinion, dude. That's fine.
Okay, Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that The Last of Us 2 remaster will get nominated because journalists love that game. Let's just
Yeah.
hope a game comes out that's better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to win. Like, even if you're like, okay, whatever, but you got to admit that's not fair for it to
Yeah.
win twice.
Yeah.
And besides, I mean, I don't really even care, but like,
Yeah, no.
if
I
I
don't
did
think it's
care, I would be like,
yeah.
that's not fair.
Right. Yeah, if it did, then yeah, that wouldn't be fair. If it dude, that would be like
Yeah.
I don't think it will get nominated, but like if it does, dude. What's it fucking called?
That would be
I don't
funny.
remember. That would
I
be
would just
fucked
die laughing.
if it did. That would be like saying like if they nominated The Last of Us Part 1, you know, the remake for Game of the Year last year. That
Yeah,
would be
the
like doing
PC,
that would be doing the
yeah.
same thing. Yeah. That would be doing like that'd be like doing the same thing. And it's the same energy as Starfield winning most
Yeah,
innovative
but
gameplay for the
critics
Steam
are
Awards.
praising it. Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know the Steam players were like trolling. Like
Yeah.
even though I like the game, I have to admit it's a Bethesda game. It's not
Well,
innovative.
yeah. Well,
Right.
the gameplay isn't.
But that's
really,
not
yeah.
bad. That's
Yeah,
not
that's not a
bad.
bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I'm not
gameplay
saying
isn't
that's a bad thing.
innovative.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
That's
But the reason why like the players were trolling was because people were like getting so mad. They're like, "Oh, it's not innovative."
Yeah.
And then the Steam players were like, "Lol, let's make it the most innovative game of 2023."
Right.
It was so funny, and then the salt was hilarious. I love it.
Oh yeah, the salt.
But
Salt
yeah,
is always
yeah,
funny.
it was definitely a troll, and honestly, it was funny. It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best. That was awesome.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's not innovative at all.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
gonna turn any heads and be like,
Yeah, it's
what?
not. Starfield is basic. I have not played Starfield.
I would, but like,
would you consider it? Would you consider it basic though?
it's not basic, but I would say it is a step in the right direction from Fallout 4. And heck, it does stuff better than heck even Skyrim. But like
That might be a hot
compared
take.
to I'm thinking of like here's hot take time. Okay, time to not get any subscribers.
And after this,
I
we
would
should
say
keep going
if
with the video.
Yeah. If I had to compare it to other space games, like, which is stupid, I would never compare an RPG to a exploration game. But
Like
if
No
I had to
Man's Sky, for
compare it to
example.
like, let's say, yeah, No Man's Sky, like no, it's pretty basic. The exploration is pretty basic compared to No Man's Sky. But the game isn't about just exploration. That game is about just exploration, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also like about story and all that jazz, right? So I can kind of forgive it, the exploration being a little basic, but I want it to be better, right?
Yeah.
And I hope these updates that like add vehicles and stuff will make it better. But like, yeah, I can kind of forgive it, but I agree the exploration aspect is pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Also, like, but if I had to compare it to another space RPG, The Outer Worlds, I have not played it, but from what I've seen, Starfield probably is better than The Outer Worlds, but I don't know.
I was gonna say I haven't played it yet, but
We'll see.
It was
Honestly.
available. It was available on Epic for free on Epic. So
Yeah.
I picked it up, and I hopefully I get to play it one day. I should be able to, but like, you know, I'll tell you if I like The Outer Worlds or not though.
I'll play The Outer Worlds, because it's on Game Pass and I have Game Pass. I'll
Okay.
play The Outer Worlds. I don't know when. I'm planning on it just to see. You know, this is like there's not very many space RPGs in all honesty.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
Like there's not many RPGs that take place in space.
Yeah,
Because
there's just not.
I
many
think
at
the
all.
reason why, and something Starfield pointed out, something that Starfield pointed out, the reason why there are not very many is because the balance of exploration and RPG is really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really hard balance because a space game is more about exploring. That's why No Man's Sky did better, I think. Like
Right.
because the what's the word? The idea of a space game is like exploration, right? That's like what I think when I think of space. I want to explore.
Mm-hmm.
But like with an RPG, yeah, there's exploring elements, but like it's not just about that. It's also about, story, characters, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So like you have to balance both of that. Like No Man's Sky doesn't really have a story. It's just really about exploring.
Right.
But Starfield is about the story, right? It's an RPG. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you mix that? That's a trick question. It's very hard to do that. Now I'm not saying that it can't be done, but like for how much time you have on a game, that would take years, right? To have something like a good RPG and like hundred or thousands of planets to explore that are fun to explore, right?
Right.
That would take years, I think. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to like cat for Starfield. I do agree the exploration could be done better, but like I can see why it's not as good as it could have been. I do hope though that they do change it. Like Starfield is the epitome of the life is good but it can be better meme. Like it's good right now but it can be better. And it does have the I've seen a lot of people say it now that all the controversy has died down. People are like, well, I think it's good, but it can be better. I hope that they update. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I think too. I think they can totally make it a lot better than it is. Right? That's the hot take of the generation right there.
Right.
I like it. I even bought it, so like if that's anything to go by, I don't have much money. So I even bought it. It's in my collection. So
Right.
But yeah,
Alright,
that's
well,
what
I
I
think
have to say.
I
Sorry
get
for
you.
going that change it.
No, you're good. We've been droning on for long enough. Let's try and get through this.
At the shilling for No
Yeah,
Man's Sky and Cyberpunk 2077 and like having Neil Druckmann.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Cyberpunk. What do you have to say about that?
Mario movie.
I mean, I don't like shilling for it. Like how people defend the game and how CD Projekt Red actually fixed it. I mean, like he wants to pretend like it's just like a fucking it's like a narrative pushed by PC gamers that it's a good game now, which objectively it is. Not even just on PC, but on console too.
Yeah.
If you remember around its launch, it was taken off of the PS4 storefront. It was that bad. But after they fixed it, they released it on PlayStation, and it got so much better.
Yeah, okay, so I have to admit, it should have come out this year. Okay, you know what I mean? Like they should have had time to actually instead of putting it out and when 2020. They should have.
If it came out this year, it would arguably be the biggest release. No doubt.
Yeah, it probably would have. But instead, it got, it came out when it did and got tons of bugs. And surprisingly, it still won awards at the Game Awards. I'm like, again, why? It's a game from 2020 that should have been out.
I was gonna say on and it's also ongoing game. They released a DLC. It's not live. That doesn't mean it's not live service, right? There's no multiplayer.
It's not a live service.
There's no multiplayer. So
now when they did that, this sets a precedent that where's Minecraft? If this is the case, where's Minecraft? Minecraft gets a big update every year, right? And they fix bugs and stuff. Where's Minecraft, right?
Also,
we can't put that in there because why? Because it's there every year. Minecraft. Where was Minecraft then too? Right? It would win every year probably.
Well, I guess they just want to focus on popular titles.
I'm not even capping with you.
Right. I guess they just want to focus on popular live service titles
like newer ones,
like Valorant and Fortnite and League of Legends and stuff.
Valorant.
I don't play those games personally.
League is older.
It is older, but I don't. I see it still getting
League's
nominated
older,
for stuff.
Yeah.
I see it still getting nominated.
That
for
is
stuff,
ridiculous.
Which is crazy, but
I think if League can get nominated, then Minecraft can get nominated, right?
The game that has the biggest player base ever. So it should. If League can get nominated, Minecraft is up for game too.
Number one best-selling game of all time. Yeah.
Now I think Cyberpunk would make sense if there was a category for best DLC released that year.
Yeah.
That would
there's
make
not.
sense,
They
but there's
should do
not.
that.
So it
Yeah.
should have been left out entirely.
And
I
best
agree.
remake. Best remake should be a thing. A
Yeah,
best remake should be a
best
thing too. I
remake
think.
or slash remaster, whatever, because they're essentially the
Yeah.
same thing. But
You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Then
way, like,
Resident
new
Evil
game-
4 would have won last year for sure.
Oh yeah. Or Dead Space and Metroid Prime were pretty good too. I don't know. I have to.
I didn't.
I'll
I didn't
think
play.
about it.
I didn't play those. I didn't even play the original Dead Space, so I can't.
Those
comment on
were
that.
good.
And if Metroid
They were
Prime,
good.
I
The
hear
only thing
Metroid
that was
Prime Remastered is good. I should probably add that to my wish list.
oh,
on
it was
Switch.
really good. You should
Okay.
definitely get it. It was really
Okay.
good.
Okay, I'll check it out then.
And
Alright,
like Dead Space, the thing with Dead Space was that at first it was a bit jarring because they gave Isaac a voice.
Right.
Because in the first Dead Space he doesn't have one.
Right.
But they gave him
I
a
heard about
voice. A little weird for me at first. I was a little uncomfortable. Well, uncomfortable. That's a big word for a small problem. But I was a little like a little weirded out. But then I got used to it.
Right.
Right. And they made a rule. I was really like they made a rule that Isaac cannot talk unless it's important. Right. So he's not gonna like blabber on. So I was like that's good. So I just need to play it more. I think.
Yeah, I do too. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's press onward.
Let's
Right?
continue.
Like that to me was a much more like disgusting thing for them to do in that regard. Like to me, that was like the thing I was focusing on the most, and the thing I talked about the most.
Pull your
If it
shirt
wasn't for, like,
down.
the insistence
Oh my
Exactly.
that I
god!
was specifically upset about Baldur's
And he
Gate
said that he like
That,
the
I
reason like he
probably
doesn't
wouldn't have
swear.
commented
He
on
wants to look his
Wait, hold on.
best and
Yeah. He
wants
presents
to look his
himself
best.
in a
Yeah.
good quote unquote good way, which is just not true. But like,
But
just
like
pull your fucking
and then
shirt down. He brings up Baldur's Gate 3 again, so I had to rewind it. We'll
okay, let's hear this.
we'll see what he
the thing
says.
I talked about the most. Right? If it wasn't for like the insistence that I was specifically upset about Baldur's Gate 3, that I probably
Because
wouldn't
he
have
was.
commented
But you
on it
were.
as much as I did.
You are upset. Like, and you're still talking about it
Like,
5 months after
okay.
its release. Like, let it go, man.
Like okay, like if he said said this right, people
Mm-hmm.
are making up stuff that I'm upset, and he didn't post like 50 videos about how upset he was.
Exactly.
Then like I'd be like whatever, like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people are just making up stuff, but like
Yeah.
he posted like not 50. That's over dramatic, but
But like,
he
he posted
a
a
bunch
lot
of videos that are like, yeah,
like Baldur's Gate 3 Shill's attempt
like
to
BG3 this and BG3 that.
yeah, like attempt that it has a shot at Tears of the Kingdom's Game of the Year award. Like that, he just kept saying and saying over and over again, even though I'm very doubtful he's
Yeah,
even played
and
it.
it was so funny.
Like-
Okay, another
Right.
story time. I'm sorry, but
You're good.
so I'm in his server again. It's another server story time. So I'm in his server, and this guy are just trolling around, being trolls. I'm shocked that I'm not banned yet. I'm like actually in genuine shock. I'm probably
Mhm.
gonna get banned after this. But this guy, like we're trolling around, right? This guy comes up to me and he says, "Well, obviously the Starfield and BG3 numbers are fake." And that's actually
Like-
from a Harman video. He said
Yeah,
like the
yeah, it is.
BG3 numbers are fake. And
Yeah.
so
Like source.
and I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, bro, what's the proof? He says, I have proof. And I'm saying, okay, give it to me. What's the proof?
What's the proof?
He said, I'm not giving it to you. I'm like,
Why?
what? If I
Why?
have proof,
It's a
if I have
screenshot.
genuine
It is a
proof
screenshot.
that-
Like,
yeah. If I had proof that the
That the
games
devs-
were like being fake,
yeah,
yeah.
that the
Well,
devs
actually-
or storefronts are
well,
over exaggerating
Baldur's
their
Gate-
numbers.
yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, the devs didn't release the numbers, but
Yeah.
like it was estimated, and also
Yeah,
it
you
was
can-
also like #1 on Steam for like
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
People
you can even look
estimated
this
the
up on.
numbers and stuff.
You can even look this up on Google. It
Yeah.
sold more copies than
Yeah,
Tears of the
Steam
Kingdom.
chart.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just that, but like overall, like
Yeah,
the overall
Steam
the
chart.
top
And it
the
was
top
one of the-
Google
it was a-
result. If you look at if you just look at the top Google result, it'll say,
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate. I looked it up. It's here. I can actually look it up again. just for proof here.
Yeah, do you know?
Hey, copies sold. Let's just look this
Also,
up. Yeah, it's
also
estimated
BG3
ranging between 5.46 million and 27.0 million copies.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it is somewhere between 5 and 27 million copies. That is an insane number. Now,
That's
copies sold
crazy.
for Tears of the Kingdom.
And
The
also,
top
and then
result the top
Steam-
result is 19.5 million for Tears of the Kingdom. So,
And
you want
Steam
to
also
say that
released
nobody
official
cares about it
numbers.
and it's going to be forgotten?
Like, and then Steam released official numbers, right?
Yeah.
I don't want, you want me to send it? I'll send it. So if you
You
want, I'll
can,
put
yeah.
it in the drama channel. I'm gonna put it.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me find it. But Steam, yeah, here it is. Released official numbers for their top 10 like most revenue games
So let me just
of
bring
this
this over
year,
here.
right?
Yeah.
And there it is. See,
Yeah,
BG3,
$657
BG3,
million.
Hogwarts, and Starfield are
Hogwarts
top
Legacy,
3.
Starfield are the top 3. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
$657
And so like,
million
and
dollars.
the crazy thing. And the craziest thing is that Hogwarts Legacy was out for longer, and it was the best-selling game, like, all around, like, on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, and all that. And
Yeah.
BG3 still beat it out. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, by, like, almost half,
Yeah.
right? It got, like, it almost doubled its amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it was, like, one of the best-selling games of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me.
Harman
At
even
least on
promised to
Steam.
hate.
At least on Steam. I think if you... A what?
No, I was just reading chat. Harman even promised to hate on Baldur's Gate 3 harder as a New Year's resolution. Yeah, I believe that because he's still going on about
Oh,
it
yeah.
into the new year, and it's 5 months after it came out. Like,
Oh my god.
I fully believe
We all
that.
have, like, that's, yeah. And so,
Just
like, okay.
okay.
I think Hogwarts Legacy overall sold more than BG3, like, on consoles. But, like,
Yeah.
BG3, on Steam anyways, like, dwarfed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Right?
did. It did.
So, and also, like, again, Hogwarts Legacy was out longer, and it's a game that fans have been wanting for a while. And it's also a good game. So, like, of course, but, like, Baldur's Gate 3, kind of niche, like Harman says. It's niche, only people that play D&D or old computer games really know what it was. And that makes it even crazier that it was so successful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy
Absolutely.
that also, like, heck, it's crazy that all three of those games, Starfield, Hogwarts, and BG3 were so successful because all those three of those games had major controversies around them. And they're all like, well, Starfield and BG3 are, and they're not new IP. Well, specifically Baldur's Gate isn't new IP, but like, it's a newer take on the IP, right?
Yeah.
And then Starfield, of course, is a new IP. And they all three, well, Baldur's Gate 3 didn't really have any major controversy, like major, like Starfield and Hogwarts
I think the
had.
only
But
major
they still
thing,
had major controversy.
Yeah, I think the only major thing that it
For
had
BG3 was maybe like the second.
it was the bear scene.
The bear.
Yeah, the bear scene
Yeah,
is
the
what
bear.
really did it for Baldur's Gate.
And that was just a joke, though.
Yeah, it
I
was
really
funny.
want to find that. That's
Yeah, it was funny.
one thing I want to do because, I do struggle with this game a lot, right?
Yeah, right.
I struggle with it a lot, but I want to find that bear.
Right.
I gotta do my due diligence, right?
Yeah.
At least I
months-
gotta find the bear.
Yeah. 5 months out, people are still talking about it, but no one is talking about Zelda. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep,
I just remember.
yep.
I remember when Tears
And
of the
also,
Kingdom.
okay, I played it.
You played it?
Continue.
No,
Yeah, I did play.
okay.
I'll talk after you.
Okay, I was just gonna say that, I remember hearing about Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't even know it dropped, but I heard people talking about it and how, like, fanboys were just saying that it was bad and not really giving any reason as to how it was bad. They were just kind of saying that it was bad. And
Oh,
saying
yeah, that
well,
was-
it's better than
That
this.
was a Demion, I think.
Well, yeah, him. But there were other
Okay,
people
okay.
that were saying it too. But like that's the only time I ever heard anyone talk about Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't hear anybody really talk about it after that.
Okay. So I did buy Tears of the Kingdom because
Mhm.
what sold me. It was so cool though. I was in a theater and I saw a commercial for it, and it was so cool on the
Mhm.
theater screen. I was like, I want that.
Right.
It sold me, right? And
Yeah.
I wasn't. I had Breath of the Wild before that. I
Mhm.
played it. Didn't really like it because I also played Skyrim around the same time, and I was like, I this is not no.
Yeah.
The exploration stuff is good, but
Mhm.
like it just no, it wasn't for me. And
Right.
so, but I bought Tears of the Kingdom thinking it was gonna be better, right? I was like, okay,
Mhm.
surely it will be better, and it was better than Breath of the Wild, but it felt like just DLC, like
Right.
$70 DLC. If it was 60 or whatever, I wouldn't be fine, but 70. And I know that's
That's a
silly to
little.
complain about 10 extra dollars, but like it's a bit silly, but still, that's 10 extra dollars that I had to spend on DLC essentially. What could
Mhm.
have been DLC. And I actually heard, I don't know if this is true, but I think I heard somewhere that it like all the ideas for it was supposed to be DLC, but they
Mhm.
had so many ideas that they just made a whole new game. So literally, it's just
Yeah.
$70 DLC packs,
Yeah. Exactly.
essentially, but
Yeah.
with like a new story, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what was like disappointing to me. And like
Mhm.
I was hoping they would go in a darker direction. Like the first cutscene of the game really tricked me. I like the darker direction. Majora's Mask was
Right.
great, right? But the first cutscene really tricked me. I was like, oh, they're going in a darker direction.
Mhm.
Finally, right? I've been waiting for this, you
Mhm.
know? But then it was just in the first cutscene, and yeah,
Mhm.
really lame. And also they got Chad Ganondorf, but then Chad Ganondorf was like only yeah, it was disappointing. It was one of my most disappointing games of 2023.
And that's
My
fair.
most disappointed game was Redfall, but
Yeah. Well,
it
Redfall
was
was
one
just
of
kind
my
of.
most disappointing games because I thought it was gonna. I was hoping for a better game, and it
Yeah.
is a better game, but only slightly.
Right.
It's slightly better, and it just felt
Yeah.
like DLC. Like they could have
Gotcha.
put it and made a DLC, but the stuff they did add was pretty cool. I did like the building mechanic, although when you stick
Mhm.
more than like three pieces of something together and you move it around, the Switch almost has a stroke
Yeah.
and almost dies. And I was like, that's not cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
This isn't
it
even
is what it
also.
is.
This
If you
also
like
isn't
Breath of
even
the Wild,
talking.
you're
Yeah.
probably gonna like it.
Yeah. And this also isn't even talking about the Switch's
Yeah.
launch issues
Uh,
with its hardware.
oh,
Remember
I
that?
heard it was
Like,
really bad at
it
launch.
was horrible. That's why I
Oh
refused to buy
boy.
one for a while. But then after I heard that like everyone else was getting a Switch and saying they had a good experience with it, I was like, okay, I'll drop $300. Let's see how it is. And it actually like I
Yeah,
was they
yeah.
were fixed. They were
When
fixed,
it
which
was,
is good.
yeah, at first, like the Switch was new, right? A
Mhm.
console I can take on the go. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But now, since we have stuff like the Steam Deck and
And the
all these
ROG
other
Ally.
PCs on the go, that's yeah, Rogue Ally, all that.
It just
Like
it completely beats the
that,
purpose.
the concept, yeah, the concept has just faded out now. The
Yeah.
Switch, like the only thing it has are exclusives. And
Yeah,
even
that's it.
then, people emulate them or
Yeah.
pirate them. I mean, they
Yeah.
pirate them. So
Yeah.
like even then, it doesn't really have that anymore. If
Mhm.
you want to be completely honest, but if you're like a normal guy who doesn't pirate stuff, right? It
Yeah.
you're gonna like the only thing Switch has now is Nintendo games.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
that's it.
Dang,
And
Harman Smith
also, it's
can't get over it.
cheaper
Yeah,
than
yeah, no, he
than
can't
the
get over
Steam
it. He's
Deck.
still coping. Like here we are, like
Yeah, yeah.
a
The
month
Steam Deck
after.
is better.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, no,
a
Harman
month
can't get over it.
after. I mean,
What's up?
but I
What's up,
will.
Alan? But yes, no,
Yeah,
like Harman can't get over it. He's just still like so like struck by like by Baldur's Gate that like and it just for the sheer fact that
yeah,
that it was popular and that people really liked it. He just can't accept the fact that people
yeah,
like
exactly.
other games
And
outside of Nintendo. Like,
exactly. And also, like, the Switch, I will give the Switch credit. At least it's not the PS Portal.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
It could be
Is
worse.
all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. It could be
Yeah.
the PlayStation. Could be the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
All right. Let's onward.
yeah, I think we should.
And that's the
Yeah.
weird thing about Baldur's Gate 3 is that, like, outside of the weird obsession it has with certain people in the community, it really is not all that relevant. You know, outside of people like spamming my comment section with like, Baldur's Gate 3 won game of the year. Like, nobody talks about this game at all. Nobody remembers it. It's not relevant.
Okay, that's
Like, it is the-
cringe.
That is cringe.
Like,
Okay, 20,
that is
22,
cringe.
22,
Like, ha! That's a
I was
one
gonna
up.
say, like, 20, I'll just say this, 20 plus million copies, and people aren't talking about it still?
Yeah, that's a flex.
That is a flex. That's
Yeah.
a flex. And
Yeah,
people
that-
still,
you should, yeah,
quote,
instead of saying,
people
one
still
game of the
aren't
year,
talking
that's
about
cringe,
it. Like,
but,
yeah, that is
yeah.
cringe. What's stopping Harman from liking both games? I don't know.
Yeah, same-
Probably the fact
yeah.
that it's not made by Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Or it's
Oh my
not on
God.
Nintendo.
yeah, exactly.
I
Like,
think, and also it's made by a Western company.
that too,
That too.
yes.
It's not made in Japan. It's not JRPG.
Exactly.
Yes,
Like,
that's
oh
another
my-
thing he doesn't
Oh my
like.
god.
So
Fuck.
also like, also like I would, oh what's the word? I would like say that yes, it is cringe. He's right. It is cringe saying that BG3 won Game of the Year awards because that's just cringe, right?
Yeah.
The Game of the Year awards are cringe. But at the same time, the reason why they're doing that is because you're the one who put all the importance on the Game Awards before it came out,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because I remember like watching people like watching salt miners be like, he's coping. He's saying that BG3 won't win Game of the Year. He's hyping up Game of the Year to be a Zelda victory, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember that, and so that's why people are like saying that. Like, if you just didn't care about the Game Awards like before, you know, then people wouldn't be saying this. I don't think. Well, maybe they would. They probably would, but.
Exactly. He
But
claims
point
that they're
still
like not
stands.
important. He claims
And
that they're
also,
not
like, think
important.
about this way.
Huh.
Yeah. You can continue.
Well, no, I was just gonna say he claims that they don't matter. That he doesn't care about them, but he still watches them every year just to cope and see that Nintendo gets snubbed
Yeah.
for titles, or for wins is what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And like also like two Nintendo games got nominated for Game of the Year, right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that just be a victory in and of itself? I mean, I'm trying to use his logic, right? I don't
Yeah.
think, like again, I think the Game Awards are cringe, but like
Yeah.
if I'm using his fanboy logic, okay, I would think that being not only Tears of the Kingdom, but also Mario Wonder,
Yeah.
is if they're both nominated for Game of the Year, wouldn't that be like a victory? Right? Wouldn't that be like
Yeah.
a little victory in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
'Cause,
Getting
like,
nominated
tons
for
of other
anything at all
games
is a
that-
victory.
Probably deserve it. Yeah. Like tons of other games that probably deserved it more got
Mhm.
snubbed from the Game Awards, right? From
Yeah.
the at least for Game of the Year, right? And I
Mhm.
say deserved it more in quotes.
Yeah.
But so like why but of course he's gonna cry that it's like those people that cry when they're in the Olympics and then they don't get first place. It's just like you still made it to the Olympics, which I don't think that ever happens, right? I don't think
Yeah.
that's ever happened. Well, it probably
Yeah.
has. But like that's if like you went to the Olympics though, and again I'm using their logic. Again,
Uh-huh.
the Game Awards are cringe. I gotta keep reiterating that. But I'm
Mhm.
using his logic, right?
Mhm.
It's like if you went to the Olympics, but you started crying because you didn't get first. Right? Like, what does it matter? You and your best friend got to go to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like good enough?
Yes, it is.
and Zelda and Zelda and Mario won. Zelda and Mario both won one award each. So like from what I remember, I think Mario won the Family Game of the Year,
Something like that.
and Zelda won like Best Action Adventure, which Zelda won Best Action Adventure, which I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but I
Mhm.
mean, it's whatever. I don't really care. And the
Mhm.
reason why I like even watch the Game of the Year awards now isn't for fanboy stuff. It's just to like see the commercials. And the commercials were so lame. Like
Yeah.
I was you know what I was anticipating the most? Not just to see who won because that would be, whatever,
Mhm.
but still it'd be nice to know who won. But
Yeah.
also to see Larian announce BG3 on Xbox. Those
Yeah.
are the only reasons why I was there. And also to see the other games that may
Yeah.
come out. And it was disappointing, to say the
Right.
least.
Right.
But yeah, just seeing who won, just, I'm not going to cope and see that the game I wanted to win doesn't win, right?
Yeah. Like it just doesn't
Like,
matter.
I don't really care. It's just for fun, like
Mhm.
it should be. Like, it should
Mhm.
be just for fun, but these fanboys put a huge importance on it,
Mhm.
right? They're like, oh, the Game of Year Awards, my game not got nominated, yours didn't, haha. It's like, why? Who
Like what?
cares,
Yeah. Who
right?
cares? It's a
Like,
stupid
it's supposed
award.
to be for fun, to
Yeah.
celebrate gaming. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
stupid award show. It's just to celebrate gaming, but yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
think they're cringe now because fanboys and everything, and
Mhm.
also Jeff Keighley just obviously there
Mm.
to get a paycheck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Pl-
whatever,
yeah.
and like, but yeah, that's why people were saying that is because you put a heavy emphasis on the Game of the Year awards before
Yeah.
they came out, and then now you're
Yeah.
backpedaling, and so of course
Yeah.
people are gonna rub it in your face.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, "Ha ha, your game didn't
Yeah.
win."
Um.
Yes, it's cringe, but there's a reason why.
Yeah. Exactly. And SNP actually brought up a good point in chat. They said that plus he very much comes off as
Yeah,
believing that the Game Awards are corrupt only because Nintendo didn't sweep, and if they did sweep, he
yeah,
deny that it was corrupt.
yeah,
Exactly. Fucking exactly.
exactly. I think okay. This is the epitome. You know that meme where it's like you da 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 da. I did it. We are
Mhm.
not the same. You know that meme?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are not the same meme.
Yeah.
It's just like you think the Game Awards are corrupt because Nintendo didn't win. I think they're corrupt because journalists decide 90% of the victories.
We
We
are
are
not
not
the
the same.
same.
The
Yeah.
only vote, yeah, the only vote that was 100% player's choice was the player's choice vote.
Mhm.
And BG3 won that, of course.
Of course. BG3 sweep.
Like that was the yeah. That was the only vote that was 100% decided by the players. Everything else was journalists, really.
Yeah.
Everything else was journalists. The
Mhm.
Golden Joystick Awards, though, is very good. I think that's
Right.
100% players, and I like the Golden Joystick Awards.
Mhm.
And I'm not just saying that because Starfield won Best Xbox Game of that year. And I don't really care. I don't really care if it won anything, but like still, I think because I heard that it was actually 100% player voted.
Mhm.
So, but it's a little nicher though than the Game Awards because the Game Awards has a big showcase and everything, and the Golden Joystick Awards is just like a little thing.
Yeah.
It's a wee little thing,
Yeah.
you know. But I
Exactly.
think that's cool. But yeah,
Mhm. All right, let's press onward.
exactly. Let's
Dragon's Age
continue though.
Inquisition
Yeah.
of this year, right? It is The Last of Us Part 2 all over again. Actually, I keep mentioning this. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in a video, but like, if The Last of Us Part 2 was not leaked, like, if it came out in like a clear situation with like no coverage, uh, with no like, uh, with no like preconceived notions, like people would have come out onto that thing telling us like that, like, oh, the game is good, you just don't understand it, it's not woke, you don't understand Neil Druckmann's masterpiece, right?
People were doing that
Like
anyway,
with
though.
Baldur's Gate 3, like we're having a lot of people
Yeah,
like
but people did it
be
with
in
how
denial about how woke the game
annoying.
is, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, he used the
He's
W
still not.
word.
He's still not. He's still not going. He's still not fucking like. Oh my god. How is the game woke? I think he didn't even explain that in 2020. Like whenever he made tons of videos on it, probably.
Yeah.
Here, I'm
We're
just gonna
seeing
let this
people
play.
in denial
Like the
about the
game.
quality
Okay,
of the game.
I know
Right?
the
We're seeing
game,
people in
and
denial
I know the
that the
game, and I
game
know,
isn't game of the
yeah,
year
but
material by any stretch of the
I don't want to
imagination.
get into that.
But
This isn't the
like,
time.
the
Also.
PC
Yeah.
Master Race, like they're so adamant. Like they needed that W so badly
Oh, please
that they
stop
like
calling them
astroturfed this
that.
game beyond I
That's
think
so cringe.
any other game in recent memory. Right? The way these guys talk, like you would think Baldur's Gate 3 was more popular than Elden Ring, but that wasn't true at all. That was absurd.
I mean, it was probably
I don't
about the
know.
same. It was probably about the same.
Is that true?
It was probably about the same. I know Elden Ring
Yeah,
sold
yeah.
over 20 million copies, but like sales don't really mean anything in terms of popularity and like player reception.
Yeah.
I think Baldur's Gate
Yeah,
may have
Elden
been
Ring was
bigger.
also like what, a new IP.
Yeah, it was a new IP for FromSoft,
Yeah,
but it still followed the Souls
yeah,
formula. It was a part of the
that's
Souls
crazy.
series,
Yeah,
but I don't think it was.
and people
It wasn't as big as Baldur's Gate 3 is.
yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, I think what made it better, or not better, not like actually better gameplay wise or whatever, but I mean like more successful, is because it was
from August.
named, BG3, right?
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate, that's a name, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 3, right? It's the third game in the series, so. And it
Yeah.
was also in open beta or whatever for a while.
And in early access, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, early access, open beta, whatever. It was in that for a while, so like, and I think that was building up hype as well. So,
in my opinion, anyone who uses woke unironically has no valid opinion. I mean, yeah, honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I'm anti-woke
Like,
too, but like,
I would never.
don't use it like unironically. You know, like, there are better
Yeah,
ways
don't
to
be like,
phrase
oh,
it.
that game is so woke. Anyways.
Yeah.
yeah. Woke stuff. I don't even like using the word anymore. But
So, what's up,
yeah.
video game lover 58?
but like, oh, sup. Welcome. But I don't like using that word either that much because
Yeah.
it's everyone uses that word. I mean, there's a reason though. There's a reason.
Yeah.
It's just like stereotypes. There's a reason why everyone uses that word, but still, like,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, that's woke.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a slang word that gets thrown around. It's like,
Mhm.
it's like bruh. It's like bruh or something like that.
Yeah.
Something they throw around.
Actually,
So yeah.
Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 fans aren't fighting each other. Yeah, no, they're not. And Harman actually brought it
Yeah,
up. He was
exactly.
like, he brought it up. He was like, why don't you see Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 fans at each other's throats? It's because they just care. They don't care about like whose game is better.
Yeah.
They just care about enjoying
They
their
don't
own
care
game.
about it.
Yeah, they just don't care. They care about the game
exactly,
and its
exactly.
quality. Like that,
Like-
it's just not important to them.
Like, imagine fanboying for a game. Like, imagine fanboying for not a console, not a company, but a game. Like, just
Yeah.
a video game. Fallout New Vegas. But, yeah, that's cringe. I'm looking at all the Fallout New Vegas fanboys. That is so cringe. But yeah, like, the people who play Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3, they don't care, right? They don't
Yeah,
care that
exactly.
it won Game of the Year.
hmm
I don't care that Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year. You don't care that Elden Ring won Game of the Year. I need
Yeah.
to play Elden Ring. But
I was
no
gonna
one
say,
cares.
I don't.
Nobody
Yeah, exactly.
cares because it's some dumb award show, right?
Exactly.
Nobody cares that it won Game of the Year. The only people that care are you and PlayStation fanboys and Xbox fanboys and whatever. Maybe even the actual FromSoft and Larian Studio fanboys. Those are the only people that care, right? But no one else does. No normal gamer does, right?
hmm
Like, maybe they'll be like, "Oh, that's cool. It won Game of the Year. That's cool." But they don't really care that much. They'll be like, "Oh, that's neat."
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Let's press onward. We're already 2 hours into the stream. We need to keep
Yep.
going.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 was more popular than Elden Ring.
How long is this?
That wasn't
It's a
true at all.
38-minute
That was
video.
observably not true. Even in like the early
Oh,
hype
good
period
gosh,
from
I'll
August
never
to
get
like
through that.
September. Right? Like
Yeah.
it was such a weird thing. And like it really does feel primarily as if that game was put forward specifically to try and gaslight people into thinking Tears of the Kingdom was not a spectacular release. That's kind of what it feels
What,
like.
wait, what did
Like,
Nobody's-
you
it
say?
felt like they were going
Nobody's
to do that
saying
with
that.
Starfield, but when they realized
This also has
that,
nothing to
that
do
game
with the
was gonna be
title, so I might just let this
controversial,
play.
What?
they had to like pivot and push Baldur's Gate 3 instead, and that kind of fell flat on
So
its
what
face,
did he say about
honestly.
Baldur's Gate?
Do I here? I can just back it up.
From August to
Yeah,
like September,
okay.
right? Like any other game in recent memory, right? The way these guys talk, like you would think Baldur's Gate 3
Oh my
was
gosh,
more
Harman,
popular
pull
than
up your
Elden Ring,
shirt, or
but
pull
I
down your
know.
shirt.
that wasn't true at all. That was
This
observably
Pull
not
down
true.
your shirt.
Even in like
It almost looks like he's
early
not wearing
hype
any
period
pants.
from August to like September, right? Like
Okay, he's
it
talking
was
about
more
the hype
popular
period
than
for
Elden
Baldur's
Ring,
Gate
but
3.
that wasn't true at all. That was observably not true. Even
Yeah.
in like the early hype period from August to like September, right? Like it was such a weird thing. And like
Thank
it
God.
really does feel primarily as if that game was put forward specifically to try and gaslight people into thinking Tears of the Kingdom was not a spectacular release. That's
Which didn't-
kind of
that's
what it
not
feels
true.
like. Because like it felt like they were going to do that with Starfield, but when they realized
That's
that like
not
that game
true.
was going to be controversial, they had to like pivot and push Baldur's Gate 3 instead.
Oh,
No. Okay, listen, pause.
it's paused.
Sorry, we have to pause.
No, you're good.
That makes zero sense. That makes zero sense because these are different games. Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 are even different from each other, but they're both different from Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is an action adventure open world game,
Yeah.
and Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield are both like open end RPGs. And they're both different. Even I wouldn't even compare Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 because they're so different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they have in common is like the RPG stuff. But like,
Maybe.
why would if I hated Tears of the Kingdom, right? Why would I jump on Starfield or BG3? I would jump on like the ship of. Let me think. What was an action game that released this year? Oh, Lies of P.
Another Souls.
That was it was weird that Lies of P was nominated for Best RPG. I was like, what? Lies of P. Okay, we're really gonna go with that. But anyways, Lies of P. If I really wanted to hate on Nintendo or Tears of the Kingdom, I would jump on the Lies of P ship, right?
Yeah.
Or some other action adventure game. If I really hated Tears of the Kingdom that much, I wouldn't jump on an RPG.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, that's so random.
It is. Random.
That's so. And why would again? This is like conspiracy theory, like tinfoil hat stuff. Like, oh, they're just trying to hate on Tears of the Kingdom, so they're praising Baldur's Gate 3 and
Yeah, exactly.
Starfield and stuff. Like, why?
Like,
why?
nobody's doing
What?
this at
No
all.
one's doing that. They're praising those games. Yeah.
Because
Like,
people are praising
People
the
are
games
praising
because they're
those games
genuinely
because
good.
They're good games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good games. They're not because they want
It's
to
not
get
because
rid of
someone
Tears
has
of
a
the Kingdom
personal
or something.
vendetta against
They're doing it-
Nintendo. Like,
Yeah,
no one has a personal vendetta
Yeah,
against
it's
Nintendo. It's
because
just
they're
your
good. Well,
own
maybe-
fantasy
Okay.
thing that you made up in
Yeah.
your fucking mind.
yeah. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy world where everyone hates Nintendo except him. Well, and everyone else that likes Nintendo, right? He's in this
Yeah.
world where everyone's out to get Nintendo that doesn't, whatever, right? Anyone that
Mhm.
likes a game that's not on Nintendo is out to get it, right?
Apparently.
And I like Nintendo games, but I also
So do
like
I.
other games that aren't on Nintendo, right?
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. So like why?
Yeah,
Why-
I don't
why?
get it. Just why?
Like why jump on the why you're going to ride this wave of people are hating on it because or people are loving BG3 not because it's a good game. People are loving loving Starfield not because it's a good game but because they just hate Tears of the Kingdom that much. Right?
Yeah.
That's such a dumb hill to die on.
It is. It's also
Right.
just
That's
objectively
the hill
not
you're gonna
true.
die on. Yeah, it's definitely not true. I mean, I didn't really like Tears of the Kingdom, but that's not because I'm not like okay. I didn't really like Tears of the Kingdom. It's not the worst game I played in 2023, or even the worst game released. Right? I just didn't like it. But just because I didn't like it doesn't mean I'm worshiping these other games. Well, not worshiping any game.
The other
And
developers.
then I'm like playing and liking these other games. Yeah, like I'm not doing that because I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom. I'm doing that because I like those games actually, right?
Yeah.
Though
Exactly.
there was a point in time, like when I first played Tears of the Kingdom and it just disappointed me. I
Mhm.
was like so mad, right? And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I hope that it doesn't win any awards at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
I was just so mad. It was so funny. And like now I'm like, I don't really care. If it won
Right.
awards, who cares?
Exactly. Like
But
it's just
yeah, I just
yeah.
wanted to say that. I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify.
Yeah. I understand.
Flat on its face, honestly. And we're beginning to see that. Like, we're beginning to see, like, Baldur's Gate 3 lose Game of the Year polls. We're seeing, like, um, it not really. We're seeing, like,
Oh
observable
yeah. Wasn't that
reality
Game of the
that
Year
Elden
poll
Ring was more popular.
on his own channel?
No, it was on a different one.
Wasn't that? Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
it probably
he
was on a
didn't make it.
Nintendo catered channel though. I
It
may be
pr- it
wrong.
I
I
think
may be
you may be
wrong. I'm
wrong.
gonna have to say this
Yeah.
loud and clear.
You may be wrong,
I may be wrong,
but
but I think like if Harman knew about this poll, right?
mhm.
And surely he's not watching a person who is not Nintendo, like who is loves Baldur's Gate 3, right? He's
Yeah.
probably not gonna watch those people because he hates it so
Yeah.
much, right? So I
Yeah.
assume it's another Nintendo gamer, right? And
It
so
ha-
of
it is
course when
it
you're
has to be.
catering to a Nintendo audience, when you're catering to a Nintendo centric audience and that game did not release on Nintendo Switch,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
People are going to be like, oh, I didn't play Baldur's Gate. I think
Mhm.
that Metroid Prime is better, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that against the channel or the people that voted because I'm assuming not all of them are Nintendo fanboys. They're just gamers
Sure.
who primarily play on Nintendo, right? So
Mhm.
like if it won, that's probably because they did not play it or they just didn't really enjoy it, right?
Mhm.
And it's because also like it was probably for someone who catered to more Nintendo gamers, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's my theory. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this channel is not a
Yeah.
Nintendo centric
I
channel,
mean,
and I'm just
it
talking out my
probably
butt.
I
But
think
I
it
don't really care.
probably right. I think it probably is because they had so many like Baldur's Gate 3 and like other titles just going up against many different Nintendo titles, and those were the ones that always came out on top. So
Yeah,
I'm guessing it is a Nintendo centric audience.
yeah.
Just biased is what
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like other people liking games not Baldur's Gate 3, right? We're not saying that. Like
Yeah.
I like games that are not Baldur's Gate 3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I personally like have more fun with other games that are not Baldur's Gate 3, right?
Mhm.
But to denounce that Baldur's Gate 3 isn't a success, is like a failure and no one's talking about it, and it wasn't at least innovative at some
And this is
level,
all based
is
off of
just
YouTube
blatant
polls that just
wrong.
don't mean anything.
Yeah. From Nintendo centric web channels, not websites.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So like of course you're gonna get a more biased answer because they either didn't play it or they just didn't enjoy it
Yeah,
as much,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
I'm not saying
Exactly.
everyone who voted was a Nintendo fanboy, but I'm
Mhm.
just saying like they probably
Like
either
Baldur's
didn't
Gate
play it
3.
or they just didn't
Right.
enjoy it
Like
as
we're
much as
seeing
this
more
Nintendo
evidence
game.
like Hogwarts Legacy was
Yeah.
bigger, Tears of the Kingdom, like it was bigger. Like there were so many better games that came out this year, but for political
Bigger
reasons, they pushed Baldur's Gate 3. Right. And
political
I think the
reasons.
PC Master Race has
What? I'm
latched
so
onto that
confused.
as like
Here, let's back it up some.
observable reality
That
that
was
Elden
confusing.
Ring was more popular than Baldur's Gate 3, right? Like we're seeing more evidence like Hogwarts Legacy was bigger, Tears of the Kingdom, like it was bigger. Like there were so many better games that came out this year, but for political reasons, they pushed Baldur's Gate 3, Right. And I
That does
think
not
the
make
PC
sense.
Master Race
What?
has latched onto that as like some kind of epic
Like, okay,
W,
if he said,
when in
for political reasons they took off Hogwarts Legacy, I would have been like, yeah.
That
But
makes
like,
sense. But
they
like
pushed
for
Baldur's Gate
Baldur's
3.
Gate
What?
3 for political there's nothing politically charged behind Baldur's Gate. Like there wasn't.
Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe you can like make your character like that's a woman have a
You can make a trans character.
have a stick.
Yeah.
Well, not even trans, just like an actual like woman, like an actual
Yeah.
woman. Of okay, yeah.
You
Like
can
actually have a stick and stuff. That's like the
yeah,
only
you can
thing.
give them male genitals.
Like-
We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, which is kind of funny,
Like-
honestly. I think it's
like,
more funny
I
than
was gonna
like
say, yeah, it's a character.
politically motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it reminds me of Cyberpunk when you can like grow your penis size.
Yeah. Like you
and it's like unrealistically super long.
Yeah.
From what
Yeah,
I remember, I remember watching gameplay,
Yeah.
and then the guy was like, "Let's grow this a bit longer. That's more realistic."
Yeah. You can also
like
from what
that's
I hear.
what it reminds me of.
Yeah. And from what I hear, you can test. I haven't tested it out in the game yet, but you can romance any NPC apparently. Like any of your companions, that is. You can romance any of them. So,
But I think that's like
you can
in every
you can have
game.
like a gay.
But that's in
you can have
every
like a gay
game.
romance or whatever. But like,
Or you
like,
can have
that's
a
not
Fuda
politically
couple.
charged though. People aren't pushing that because
Yeah, like-
you can do that in the game. The game is just genuinely good.
Yeah.
Like,
And besides, yeah, it's not politically motivated. It's just that it's good.
exactly.
It's just a good game, right?
Exactly. And before we ramble on
Like-
too much, let's go ahead and continue.
Like again, like I said, if he said, yeah. Like I was gonna say though, before we can, like I
Yeah,
said before,
yeah.
if he said for political reasons, that's why Hogwarts Legacy wasn't in the Game Awards, I've been like, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
not like that. That's true
Yeah.
because we know that's true.
Exactly.
But like he said, that's why they pushed VG3, and I'm like, that makes no
Which
sense.
is it doesn't make any sense because it's not.
There's
true.
nothing really political about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not true. There's nothing political
Even
about it.
Was it even if
Right?
you're against trans people, it's
But yeah,
still not
continue.
bad for games to
Okay,
offer
continue.
everyone the
Yeah.
opportunity to be themselves. I mean, you shouldn't
Yeah.
even be one. I don't know why you would be
Yeah,
against
yeah.
trans people. They're not hurting anybody. But I agree. Like, it's not bad for people to offer everyone the
Yeah.
opportunity to be themselves or to like make a trans character if they really want to. Like, it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
It's just
Trans
objectively not
character-
a bad thing. Having
You
the
just-
ability to do that
Yeah.
and be more
Pick a woman
inclusive is
and
good.
lower the voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but don't push it, right?
yeah, don't make it
don't-
like a forced.
Don't be like, this is our feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
don't
if
make it
all
like a
the
forced
marketing
thing.
was around that you can make a trans character or a
That
girl
would-
with like male genitalia,
Mm-hmm.
or if they just made the marketing all around that, then
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, maybe he
Yeah.
has a point. But they didn't.
But they didn't.
They did
yeah,
it about the
that's just-
bear.
yeah. Like.
The bear.
Yeah.
That's politically motivated. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
The bear.
The
Oh, that
bear.
was funny.
reality, it's not that big of a
The
deal.
bear.
Like the Game Awards are
infamous bear
corrupt.
scene.
You know, like
We
I've
know.
been saying this for years.
We
like,
already
We all know
established
ever
this.
since even before I sat down and watched them,
Years.
before I ever streamed them. Like I preface all of my Game of the Year streams.
Then
like,
why do
all
you
those
watch
Game Award
them
streams,
though?
like,
If you
with,
know they're bad, why do you keep like?
The Game Awards are
you
a
know.
joke. Let's not.
Why
take
did you
them
make
seriously,
videos
but
saying
for some
Tears of
reason
the
this
Kingdom are
year,
gonna win,
There was this
right?
very big push to take them seriously, and
No, there
I
wasn't.
just think that is the big thing that.
No, there wasn't.
No.
No,
I
there
thought
wasn't.
Last year there was a big push for it more. Like last year it was more of a push than this year, I think. Because last year it was everybody versus the PlayStation fanboys. I remember that. That was fun. That was a fun
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Right.
Like,
And then but like no one was pushing this.
yeah,
This
nobody
year
was
anyways.
pushing
People in
for it
fact,
to be
I
taken
think
seriously.
I think when people saw, I think when people saw that Starfield was like in one category and Hogwarts Legacy wasn't in anything,
Yeah.
right? Wasn't even there. People were like, "Wait a minute, there's something fishy going on here."
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. And so I think,
Mhm.
if anything, people went away and were protesting the Game Awards, if
Mhm.
anything, right?
Yeah.
And then they saw like the remakes were being nominated for Game of the Year and stuff like that. They were like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, okay. And then Cyberpunk was nominated. It's just like people were like,
Yeah.
and then Dave the Diver. Do you remember that controversy?
No,
Dave the
I.
Diver got nominated for Best Indie, even though it was backed up. Like basically an indie game called Dave the Diver, which I heard was really good, but
Yeah.
it was made by like a company that invested millions of dollars. Like it's $1 million company, right?
Uh-huh.
And like they make their games like indie games, right? And
Mhm.
it was nominated for Best Indie Game, even though technically it's not. It's made by a studio that's worth millions, from what I
Yeah.
remember. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and so I think when that stuff started happening, people were like, wait a minute, this is fishy. We're not going to support this.
Yeah.
I think there was like a big protest and stuff like that, right?
I don't
Against the Game
remember.
Awards, a big
I don't
pushback.
remember. In 2020, there
From
for
from
sure
what I
was. There
remember,
for sure was after 2020. There was, but I just don't. I don't remember. I just don't care
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, exactly, same.
Most people haven't heard of
Continue.
Harman except in the last 2 years. Yeah, he's not very popular at all.
Oh my gosh, I found
Yeah,
something
he's.
so funny. They're
Mm,
basically so there's a bunch of PC people trying to recreate Spider-Man 2 on PC.
oh my
Like
god.
someone leaked a build of Spider-Man 2, and so they're recreating it for PC. And
Jesus Christ.
the PC player, the devs have a Discord server, and
Hmm.
a bunch of Insomniac employees joined, and
Oh
and
my
then
god.
and then it said we purged all the Insomniac employees from our server.
Oh my
That is
god.
crazy.
That is crazy. Seriously, can't wait like until later this year for it to get like a PC port for the game.
No,
Like,
I'm just gonna say this. I'm not gonna. Oh, speaking of politically motivated, I'm not gonna play Spider-Man 2 even if it does
huh,
come to PC.
huh.
That game,
I
because
want to give it a try.
if you've seen all the leaked stuff about it, like I was like, okay, I see where all the money went. It wasn't towards the reason. There's a reason why the game was released in the way it was. The money wasn't towards making the game better. It was towards all diversity and all that stuff.
I haven't
Because
I
I've
haven't
seen,
seen any of that, so
yeah.
I
So
don't know.
I heard there's like they hired people to like push diversity to the
The moon and
studios.
back.
Yes, seriously, they
Yeah.
hire people. They all got in like a a call or something, or they got in an interview, and basically they were like, so they're just doing all the diversity. They're trying to check all the boxes, and it was just cringe beyond belief. Right? It was the
Like it just
cringiest
felt
stuff, and I'm
forced.
like it's all forced, right?
Mhm.
Like Peter is like a loser, and I don't want to get into details
Yeah,
because
cuz we got to
we'd
keep
be here all
going,
day.
but yeah.
Yeah, that can be a whole nother video in and of
It could
itself.
be a video in
But yeah,
itself, yeah.
as a Spider-Man fan, I am very disappointed. And I
Right.
like the first game too. It's not like I hate the first game. I love the
Yeah.
first game. I like the story. But yeah, okay. Well, let's
Yeah.
continue.
All right.
That people need to do going forward is that, like, yeah, the Game Awards has completely lost its credibility as of 2023, right? Like, it's just completely done, never coming back. There's no recovering from this. It's over, right? Because of how hard they tried to downplay Nintendo that year, right? And they do that every year, but like after that year, no, it's over. But like when it comes to like the PC Master Race, like they need this W, right? They need like something to talk about.
Yeah,
They need something to
why
like
does he
hype
keep
up. So
calling
like,
PC
of
gamers
course,
the PC master race?
I don't know, but like most of the games that come
That's
out are
so
multi-plat. Like
yeah, yeah. There's only like a handful of like. I mean, there's tons of PC exclusives. Like
there
we can hear
are,
all day, but a lot
yes.
of them are like indie. A lot
Yeah,
of them are like
there's tons of
indie.
indie titles and like
Yeah,
really weird titles on Steam, but there are some
yeah,
really good ones too. Like
exactly. Like I
I don't
think
think
Lethal
Trepang 2
Company.
has a console release.
Yeah,
There are some
yeah,
old
and I
school
think
there are some old school boomer shooters that have gotten like a PlayStation 4 release or something, but they're not on like
yeah,
Xbox or
exactly.
anything. But so then like they became multi-plat. I think
Yeah.
Ultra Kill is planning to get a console release after the full game is out,
Ooh.
which is cool. I really like to see that so many people can experience it because Ultra Kill is a fantastic game. And I hope people get to experience it on console after it comes out because it's really, really good.
Ooh, I might check it out. Is it? What's
If
the
it comes to
spec?
console, I don't know. It's on
Is
PC.
it?
It's not hard to run
Yeah.
at all. Like
Okay, I probably can run.
yeah, you could probably just look it up later, but it's not hard to run at all. But let's keep
they
going.
latch onto Baldur's Gate 3 and they
Yeah.
try weaponizing it. They try doing everything they possibly can to keep it relevant. And yeah, like what happened this past week
Here.
was downright absurd, right? Because this was one of the weirdest situations I've ever personally seen, right? I think it really just goes to show you just how desperate the Baldur's Gate 3 community is when it comes to like trying to pretend their game is popular, right? So for those of you who aren't
What?
aware,
Fantasyland.
Beard Black is currently doing
Like
a
I heard
Game of
that
the
Baldur's
Year
Gate
poll
3
on
sold
his
like
channel.
hotcakes when it came to Xbox. Right? When it came to Xbox for after the Game Awards were
Mhm.
over, it like sold like I can't say sold out because, there's not a physical release yet and
Yeah.
also it's digital. But like
Yeah.
I heard them say like it sold tons. It was crazy how much it sold on Xbox. I think it sold more than on PS5.
Which is
And
crazy.
it was on PS5 for longer, and I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. People were
Yeah.
definitely on Xbox looking forward to that. And also, like,
Yeah.
they had Starfield, right? So
Yeah.
that's even more crazy,
It is
right?
crazy. Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
like, yeah, I bought it, and I was like, yay. I bought the digital deluxe edition too. Ooh, I'm so
Right.
fancy. I don't even know what that comes with,
I don't know either, man.
but yeah, I gotta check it out later. But
To
yeah,
pretend their game
so
is
I mean,
right?
yeah.
So for those of you who aren't aware, like Baron Black is currently doing a Game of the Year poll on his channel, right? He does this every year. He takes every game that was like every major release and like compiles them in a tournament bracket, and then he has them like he has fans like
Talking about
vote
the
on them, and you
polls.
can see them live vote, and you can
Oh
like
yeah.
follow along and see what beats what, and then like we decide on the Game of the Year at the end, right? It's a more reliable process than the Game Awards for sure. But like, because there are no game journalists involved. But like, the thing about Baron Black's channel though is that like it kind of exposed completely by accident the state of the
Hey,
Baldur's
hey,
Gate
hey.
3 community.
Let's look up his channel to see if he's Nintendo
Oh, okay.
centric.
Oh shit, that's the wrong.
I think
Oh
that'd be
fuck, I
best.
accidentally closed the video. Shit. Here. Just go to back to the video.
Pizza Hut
Not an ad.
Ah!
pizza
I don't
Ah!
need
better.
this. It's not even skippable
We're
either.
giving Harman Smith money.
Where-
We're
Okay.
giving him
Pause
money.
it.
By the way.
Okay, pause it. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
Baron Black.
Was it Baron? Yeah, Baron Black.
I don't know how to spell it, so I'm just gonna do this. Nothing's coming up.
Why is that Starfield video like coming up when you search Baron Black?
I
That's so
have no
random.
idea. That's weird. Yeah. Here, maybe I can just go to Harman's
It's
channel.
been pushed heavily by
Maybe
YouTube,
he
which is
shared
pretty
the.
cool. Yeah, I think
see
he
here.
did. Oh,
I was
you're
gonna
gonna
say
have to
maybe,
scroll
maybe the
down.
poll is here. Yeah, it's down. It's down here
I
somewhere.
think he did.
There's
Yeah,
this
there
one.
it is.
That's not Baron Black.
Oh, there it is. That's
unless
his
it's
channel.
Baron Black. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, let's check his channel out here. Let's look at his videos.
See his videos. Xbox to have a better 2024 than PlayStation and Nintendo. Insomniac Games
what
leak
kind of,
proves PlayStation fears Xbox. Nintendo, or not Nintendo. Naughty Dog or Frogs, The Last of Us Online multiplayer canceled. So this is more or less
that's
just
like
fanboy salt and video game
yeah.
news.
He's definitely he looks like an Xbox fanboy.
I don't know about that, but it does look.
He might be a mix.
Maybe.
It's weird. He's being weird.
Maybe. All right, let's continue on.
Pikmin 4.
So I guess I was wrong about it
of all
being
games.
Nintendo. I'll take
A
the
game
L.
that sold like 2 million.
But I just
units,
assumed
you
that.
know, not a particularly good Pikmin game, not a particularly good Nintendo game. I've criticized.
It's funny
it.
too
It was
because
one
this
of
guy
my
probably would
least
make
favorite
fun of Harman Smith, but he watches.
He
me.
probably would, yeah.
favorite game.
But he probably either doesn't know
it
Harman Smith exists
ended up
or
with
he
a
just doesn't
huge
care.
lead over
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 when they were put up against each other, right? And I shared the poll. I had a good laugh about it. Like, haha, look at Baldur's Gate 3 getting wrecked. And people in my community, people who have been like chomping at the bit, like responding to every single Baldur's Gate 3 comment I make, you know, like a lot of those people like caught wind of that, right? You know, Justin Diems caught wind of that, and he was just like, oh no, we can't have this. So what he did was that like he took the picture and he shared the link on his personal Discord, on Reddit, and I think his YouTube channel, right? He was telling all of these Baldur's Gate 3 fans, like, raid this poll. We gotta show them that Baldur's Gate 3
That's weird.
is the better game.
If that did happen,
So, like,
that is very cringe.
Yeah. Although
But
I think,
again, this is Harman Smith, so
yeah,
who knows?
he likes to
It
straw
did
man a
happen.
lot. He straw man's an argument that we
Yeah.
never made, so we'll get to it.
But if this did
what
happen,
happens
I
over
do
the next couple
agree
of
that
days?
is cringe, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, like who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not a big deal.
Baldur's Gate 3 is the better game. So, like, what happens over the next couple of days is that, like, the poll gets rated, right? Pikmin 4 versus Baldur's Gate 3 has about, like, 200 votes more
That was funny.
than the vast majority of other polls on the tournament bracket. And, like,
But he claims like the algorithm feeding people this poll and people voting for Baldur's Gate 3 is somehow a raid. Like,
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it was. Whoa, voice crack. Maybe it was a raid, but I've never heard of this person. So, like, for that to
Yeah.
get, like, what, 200 more votes, he must be a
Yeah.
bigger person.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like,
With hundreds, if not thousands of with, like, he would have to have at least, like, 1 million for
Yeah.
anyone to be like, oh, okay, let's all raid, like, 200 people, right?
yeah, exactly.
Full 200 people to go over there, like,
And
if
just
he
vote
was,
Baldur's
he
Gate
had to
3.
be a big YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
Or he has a dedicated fan base that's like
Yeah.
super dedicated, right? He probably,
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, maybe this isn't even true, right?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, he's a
I don't-
strong man, so
Yeah, but I don't know. We could just
Gate
look
3
into it,
ends
I
up
guess.
winning.
But
right?
yeah.
So
we really
it, like
care enough.
it becomes the situation where
Yeah.
like okay, like it reminded me a lot of like what happened with the Undertale situation with on like game FAQs back in the day, where like a bunch of people who like aren't part of the target demographic come in to like rig a poll that was clearly going to go one way. So they come in, rig this poll, and then like Baldur's Gate 3 goes up against Metroid Prime Remastered, right? So like Baldur's Gate 3 goes up, like the same thing happens, but Metroid Prime wins. Ooh!
you
Oh
really
my
like that.
Baldur's Gate 3 loses.
pull down your
You really
shirt,
like
Harman.
to Metroid Prime
Oh my
Remastered.
God.
Even with
Buddy
the
has a
massive
belly
Blitz
shirt on.
campaign, even with the shills, even with the situation they were trying to pull with that, like they were legit, real talk, trying to make this happen. They were legit trying so hard to win this random poll. and they end up
No, they
losing
weren't.
to a
Who
20-year-old game.
cares?
Who
And that game
cares?
goes
It's a
on to lose to
YouTube
Tears of
poll.
the Kingdom. But like, my point is,
It's a YouTube
right?
poll.
Baldur's Gate 3
Exactly.
really has that.
I'm just
like,
gonna let this play until it gets to
atmosphere
something
around
more
it,
important because
where,
this
like,
is just
it
like
feels less
nothing
like
matters
a
here.
game that people actually play.
Yeah.
We went on
enjoy,
about it for long
and
enough.
it's
So
something
like,
that you people use
Yeah.
for like online cred and like social status, right? Because I noticed this with Jakey.
So much for.
Oh, wait, he
for
name dropped me.
yourself
He name
in a
dropped me.
professional way.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
oh,
Wait.
reverse,
He name dropped me.
reverse.
He
Senpai
name
noticed
dropped me.
us.
He name dropped me. Free clout from
Senpai
Harman
noticed
Smith.
us.
Well, clout. 1.25k
Yeah.
subscribers.
And like social status, right? Because I noticed
Let's
this
see
with
here.
Jakey, the one of the two guys that did
That's
that
me.
response video on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
These two guys.
What about
spent
me?
their New Year's Eve.
Probably because I have the bigger channel. He cares about me more.
Dang it, I'm sad now.
No, you
The
get
real-
you get free clout from me though, dude. I got you.
Yeah.
Plug
Maybe
Webs the
I'll
Cave
get a
Spider.
subscriber.
Plug Webs the Cave Spider. Massive shout out. Go subscribe right now.
I'll get a
Like
subscriber.
doing a 4-hour live
Yeah.
stream on one of my videos, the top 10 best games ever list,
Yeah.
which was
Oh yeah, here
honestly
we go.
one of the most embarrassing live streams I've ever seen in my life. Like it was pathetic. Seeing
Cope.
these Spurs
Cope and
try to
seed.
talk down.
Cope and
Oh.
seed, Cody. Cope and
The
fucking
Cope.
seed.
The Cope.
Cope.
The most
Cope
embarrassing
and
thing I've ever
fucking
seen.
seed. Cope and seed. Like, you're
Harman?
subpar content. You haven't managed to get over 1,000 subs. Or only over 1,000
Yeah.
subs in what, like 5 years that you've been doing YouTube? Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here, dude. Get the fuck
Yeah, you're
outta
only
here.
bigger. Like, okay.
And
You're
you
only
upload like
bigger
every
'cause you've been
single
doing
day.
it
I don't even
longer.
upload that consistently. But you upload every fucking day. So
Same. And also, like, this channel was created, like, what? This year, my channel, anyways.
maybe.
So, like, of course, I'm not gonna have that much. Yeah, it was created this year. I think I created in, like, I want to say, like, March or April.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, that's fairly new. So, like, of course, I'm not gonna get his level. Unless, like, there's a
Exactly.
crazy video I make that will
Exactly.
blow up. Right?
Mhm.
And then you, like you said, you don't upload that consistently, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
So, like, yeah. And he's been on here for 5 years, uploading, like,
daily,
at least
almost
every other day.
Yeah,
At
and
least every other day for the past 5 years, and he, you know. But again,
he's
we
still
can't
there.
really talk, though, because he does
Well,
have
yeah.
more than us.
that's
technically.
true. That is very true.
But who has the most quality content?
exactly, who
Right.
makes better videos out of us three?
Like, this
Like-
isn't even subjective anymore. This is, like,
No, it's not.
objective.
Yeah, it is.
Because he
Alright.
says, he says
I wanna
our
get to
stream
the-
was embarrassing, but he's the one out here, like, with his shirt not pulled all the way down. It looks like
Yeah.
he has a belly shirt.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he's saying our stream was embarrassing, right? Harman,
Exactly.
I'd be
Like-
embarrassed to even be seen with you, right? Even
Yeah.
looking at you, I'm embarrassed, right?
Exactly.
You're like the gamer stereotype, right?
Mhm.
So
he just
like,
has like this
but he has the
superiority
gold-
complex. He has
Yeah.
this superiority
Yeah.
complex about him that makes he seem like this holier than thou complex about
he,
him.
like-
He comes across
like, you
that
know,
way.
he has his, yeah,
He just comes
he
across
has
that
his
way.
belly shirt, right? He has a
Yeah.
belly shirt. He's sitting down. He's like, oh, that stream was so embarrassing, right? That stream
When
was
you're
so embarrassing.
when you are sitting here going on for 30 minutes about stuff that does not matter,
Yeah.
and how you're
And,
talking
like,
you're
wasn't
talking
this
about how
video
you're
called-
you're talking about how your community is under attack, but like how
he's
how is it
going
under
off on
attack?
rants,
You
man.
don't even actually NSNP brought this up earlier. I meant to read it, but you say like, yeah, keep in mind that this is talking about how his community is under attack. How long ago was it? He mentioned that
Yeah.
at the beginning of the video,
Yeah,
and then just went
exactly.
off about shit that does not matter.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We go along rabbit holes all the time, but we
Yeah,
get
we
back
do.
to the main point. Right?
Yeah, we do.
Like most of
So,
the stream
but
has
here
been going.
he's
We've been going on rabbit holes, but yeah.
yeah, we have. But he brings me up, and he's trying to claim that I use Baldur's Gate 3 as street cred for YouTube. When no, I have actually played the game. I even have I now have stream to prove it. But he brings up the fact that I've only played it for 2 hours soon, so we're gonna get into that.
And
Honestly, one of the most embarrassing live streams I've ever seen in my life. Like
That's
was
funny. It's just funny.
the irony
seeing
leaves his
these
body.
bergs try to talk down about universally beloved games that they've never played. Stuff like
You didn't even talk
Bayonetta.
down on him though. You said the games that you played were good.
Yeah.
Or the ones that you have
Yeah,
liked are good.
I never said they were bad.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just said that's weird, but like they're not bad. The
Yeah.
only game I said that was bad was Star Fox Zero.
Mm-hmm. And you even
I
said
praised
that
everything else.
exactly. You even said that you played his #1 favorite Yoshi's Island. You said it was okay, like it
Yeah.
was mid, but
It was
like if
good.
you didn't
It
say
was
you didn't say it
good.
was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
downplay any
I
of
was
them, and
just confused.
I even said in the stream that I cannot downplay them because I can't critique them because I haven't played them, so I
play,
can't.
like,
I can't critique the games themselves. I just can't. It's just not. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
And if it came
Yeah.
across that way,
Like the
Harman,
game-
again, I'm sorry, but again, like my.
I think he's really mad at you, not
Yeah,
me.
he's mostly
But
mad at
I'm
me
lumped
and not
in there
you
because I'm lumped
you were
in there
with
because
you were
of
with
that.
me, yeah.
Of course.
But like, yeah, it's just
yeah,
like
the
I
only
can't
thing that
critique
I
the games
didn't-
themselves, and if it came across that way, I'm sorry, but the way you handled that video was just very poorly done. Is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
It's
The
just a
thing
bad
that, like,
video.
The only thing I said, the
And
only
what you
thing
said.
that I said that was really like the only game I said that was bad was
Star
Star
Fox
Fox
Zero.
Zero. We randomly went on a tangent praising that game when he was supposed to
Yeah.
be talking about Star Fox 64. By
Yeah,
the way,
exactly.
but he randomly started praising that game, saying it was the true sequel to Star Fox 64.
Which is
yeah.
a take in of its own, but we won't get too into it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
okay.
the only time I was like, oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah,
But
but
that
like
was a
we
bad-
never downplayed any of the games. You can go to the stream and watch right
And I-
now and to prove
And
it.
I
It
liked,
just didn't
and
happen.
I liked his I liked the games that he said. I wouldn't put it in personally. I wouldn't put like they're probably like Super Metroid. Maybe we'll have a chance at getting up there, but that's about it. And even then, like I think Prime is better. But
Yeah.
like I did like all the games, like a lot, like most of the games he put on there. I like them, but I would
Right.
never put them in my top 10 list. Maybe top 10 Nintendo games list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but not like of all time. But then again, that's just his opinion,
Right.
whatever.
Harman's fans just found my re-upload off my George Floyd video.
Oh
of
yeah.
his George Floyd video. Good luck dealing with him. And that's all I gotta say.
I remember putting. I think I put a comment that said "bro" skull emoji
Right.
on that.
Right.
I was like, "Bro."
Honest reaction.
Anyways,
Anyways.
yeah, that was like an honest
Legend of
reaction.
Zelda:
right
Link to
there.
the Past, Super Metroid, Star Fox 64, like universally loved games that I happen
Right.
to like consider my own time
Mhm.
favorites, right?
And that's
So
okay.
like these Zoomers who have no history
Zoomers.
playing games at
No
all.
history.
Apparently. Like one of the things I noticed in this live stream with playing games at all, apparently, like one of the things I noticed
Playing
in this
games
live
at
stream
all.
was that like Baldur's Gate 3, it's
I
Baldur's
didn't.
Gate 3, it's the best thing ever. So like I'm watching this.
We never really
I
went on that
never
big of a
said that.
tangent. We never went on that big of a tangent
You're
about
just
Baldur's
saying it
Gate
was
3.
good.
I
I
think
said it was good.
the only point that I can remember bringing up, I'll have to go back to the stream and clarify, but the only point I remember bringing up is that Dragon's Quest was like a JRPG, right? So if it's at all
similar to
like
Baldur's
it's I thought it would be like, an
That's what you
RPG
said.
that's like, like I guess like a super zoomed out map or whatever. Like, you have that overhead shot
Yeah.
of like your character, and then you point and click where to go, and then you get enter combat and you like place your characters wherever. Like I
Yeah.
thought that's
That's
like
what
I drew similarities to it because I'm like, if he likes RPGs like that, why wouldn't he like Baldur's Gate 3? That's the
Yeah.
point that I was trying to make.
Also, like,
but
Also,
Um,
he's like
I
saying
nev-
we're uneducated, or me,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Yeah.
educated. The only thing I'll take the L on is not knowing that Genji Gaiden was on the NES. Right, that's the only L I'll take. Right.
yeah, that's
But I
that's
knew
an
my
L I'll
stuff,
take too.
right?
I didn't know
I
Ninja
did
Gaiden
my
was on the NES either. I did not know that because the only ones I've
Yeah, that's
seen
the L.
gameplay
We'll
of.
take that L, right?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. But I know my homework. I'd say I'm more.
You're more educated than
I'd say
me
I'm
for the
more
list.
like, yeah, educated with older
For
games
sure.
than Jakey is,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I would say even for like, like this whole stereotype that, Zoomers don't understand older video games is cringe,
It
right?
is
That's such a
cringe
cringe.
because, and that's why I'm
They
like
don't
so.
know what good
That's a
games
reason why I'm
are.
so pro emulation because it preserves games in a meaningful way. People can experience them for the
Yeah.
first time ever now on their preferred platform.
Yeah. You
That's
don't
why
have to
I'm so pro.
like buy a
I'm
Nintendo
gonna say
64 to play Mario 64 anymore,
exactly
right?
like
Like,
it's just
I know, like, if there's any game I know the most about, it's Mario 64. I
yeah.
probably know more about that game than, like, a lot of super fans or whatever, right?
Exactly. But like we
I don't know
also
everything about
yeah. But the original point, we also didn't go off on a tangent about Baldur's Gate 3.
about
Like
BG3,
we
right?
didn't. That's
Like,
just something
okay,
that we didn't do.
yeah. I'll
But
just say, like,
And I
it's
just kind
good.
of assume
That's all I'll say.
yeah. All right, I went back too far, but
it's
he's
Baldur's
just
Gate 3.
cringe.
It's the best thing ever. So like I'm
Cringe.
watching this and I just kind of assume that like, oh yeah, they're big Baldur's Gate 3 fans. Like of course they would be. That's the
No,
kind of person
No.
that would be
No.
making
no.
this kind of stream. Some
I'm
kind
not
of like
big Baldur's
spurg
Gate.
who's not aware of Nintendo and their history, who hasn't played their games, who doesn't know
I'm
anything about it.
aware.
Like,
I'm more
We
aware
are both
than most
aware
people.
of their history and their games. All right. Maybe that's something we should have brought up in the stream itself. But dude, we
I'm
are
more aware, okay.
We are aware of the history. We are aware of the
Did you know?
of the
Okay, fun
games.
fact: Nintendo. You say the U.S. bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right?
Yes.
Nintendo was very close. The headquarters, they were very close to that. They almost got wiped out.
And that's crazy.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That's
Nintendo almost
crazy,
got
yes.
destroyed.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be like, haha, I know this obscure fact. That means I'm better, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I know more about Nintendo. Probably not more than Harman Smith does, but I'm not fanboy. So, but I know a lot about Nintendo,
Yeah.
right? That's very ignorant, right? I don't have much Nintendo stuff on my channel because I don't
Yeah.
really talk about Nintendo that much. Because,
Yeah, neither do
well,
I.
yes, I know a lot. I know a lot about the company, right? I just don't want to like talk about it,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
The DS, for example, if I had to choose a top 10 consoles of all time, and I know the DS technically isn't a console, but it would be on there.
Well,
it would be number
handheld-
3.
Handhelds are a form of console.
Well, yeah. If it's handheld console, it'd be number 1.
Yeah.
The DS is legendary.
Yeah.
It was my first video game device of all time, you
Right.
know, and I'll
Like,
always
just
love it. It has a
because-
great.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
according to him, just because we like other stuff apparently means we're unaware
that we're not-
of Nintendo.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't know much about.
We don't know anything.
That's so
like,
ignorant.
It is a very
Right.
ignorant. It's so stupid.
It-
And
yeah.
that
I
that
think
is
though,
also
after-
that is also the true meaning of a narrow-minded view. Like
Yeah,
his view
that's
is
it.
so
Just being
narrow.
ignorant and assuming, just
Yeah.
assuming that we don't know stuff or we know stuff that we don't or we
Exactly.
do, right?
Mhm.
He's just assuming that just because we were like joking around and you said you didn't play most of the games means
any
that
of them,
we don't know
actually.
anything about Nintendo and we
Yeah.
don't appreciate older games.
Exactly.
like-
that's not at all what that means.
That
Like,
makes zero sense,
yeah.
right?
That's too
And
nuanced
also
for Harman
like
to even acknowledge. Exactly. That's true. That's so
Yeah.
true.
yeah, also I think though after we hear what he says about you, I think we can like go and
Yeah.
read the book, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we
Maybe,
got this
because
on.
he's
Unless you
probably
want to
just gonna
stay
go
and,
off that shit.
and finish.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of time left anyway, so we may have to save the book either for
Yeah.
a separate stream or we can react to it privately,
Okay.
whichever.
Okay. Sure. I think
yeah.
we could do a stream because I think that'd be funny.
It would be funny, but I also don't want to keep it going any longer than this needs to.
Yeah, we're
How
already
does
like
Harman
what,
expect Zoomers
almost
to
3
immediately
months?
know about old games? I don't know, because not every person,
Yeah.
not every newer, like not every kid who is a gamer knows about older games, unless they're introduced
Yeah.
to it from their like parents or something. But no.
Yeah, but like so like the whole, but it is a stereotype like, oh, Zoomers don't know anything about older stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
ignorant about
Oh
older
yeah, that's
stuff.
true. That's true. I played Baldur's Gate 1 for a few minutes. That gives me enough credibility to shit on 3. Yeah, he admitted to playing. He didn't even play Baldur's Gate 3. He played Baldur's Gate 1 and thought
Yeah.
that gave him enough credibility
Yeah.
to shit on like the trilogy that we have so far. And
Yeah,
especially
that
Baldur's
makes
Gate 3.
zero sense.
That makes zero sense. Like you
Yeah.
didn't play Baldur's Gate 3,
I-
so why do you feel
I
like
have
you have
I
the-
have all 3 of them, and I have
Yeah.
all their like expansions and stuff. I haven't. I
Right.
played the first one. It's fine. You
Yeah.
know, it's an older game, like an older PC game, and so
Mhm.
like it's fine. But like, I think Baldur's Gate 3 was more appealing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's fine, but the game definitely shows its age.
Yeah.
But you're basing a game, a PC game, on like old PC game from like what, the early 2000s
Probably.
or whenever it came out,
Yeah.
to a game released last year, right?
Yeah.
Well, this year. Well, no, it was last year when he made this,
Yeah.
right? You're comparing like you know, they're different. They are still different,
Yeah.
right?
They are.
They do different
They're
things.
massively different.
One is more modern and also lets you do more stuff, arguably. You know,
Yeah.
because it's modern and it has the
Mhm.
capabilities to do that,
Mhm.
right? You know, and it's more appealing, right? I know graphics aren't everything, right?
They're not-
And
yeah,
I
they're
can
not.
still perfectly play, yeah, I can still perfectly play Super Mario Brothers today and have a good time, right?
Yeah.
Graphics aren't everything, but sometimes better graphics make stuff more appealing to
Yeah,
look at, right?
it does.
Like
It
if I
does.
played an RPG staring at the original 8-bit Mario sprite for like
Yeah.
hours, I think I'd go insane.
Uh-huh. And I don't know what
Right?
PC player needs to hear this, but not everything needs ray tracing.
Yeah,
Like not
yeah.
not
A
everything
lot
needs
of
ray tracing.
PC, yeah, a lot of fanboys and PC
Enthusiasts love
fanboys
to
also are
rave
like
about
ray
ray
tracing.
tracing, which is just it doesn't. Not every game needs ray
Yeah.
tracing. Sure, it looks nice,
Yeah,
but it's very
Yeah.
taxing. Not everyone can afford like a
it's very
3090 or a
taxing on
4090.
yeah.
Like that's
It's
just
very
not.
taxing on
On
the
your hardware.
PC, the console, whatever.
It's taxing
You
on the
know.
hardware. So yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, and sometimes it's like not. It's like what you want the graphics to look like real life. I mean, that's
Yeah.
cool for like 5 minutes, and then it's just like okay.
It kind of the wonder
whatever.
of it kind of wears off. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like like watching videos. I'd argue like is better than actually doing it. Watching the videos
Maybe.
of people like showing off like what ray tracing can do, because that's all it is. It's just a visual thing. It doesn't affect
Mhm.
gameplay or anything. Like it's like, oh, that's cool, but then like 5 minutes later, I'm gonna be like, oh, I mean, oh, that's cool, but like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, everything just you get numb to it eventually, right?
Mm-hmm. Spencer
Like,
comments,
honestly, I
"While
kinda
Armin is
like
live,
games-
They aren't the same. Okay.
Yeah.
NSNP said something about was it Spencer Williams being an alt for Harman or something.
Who's
All
that?
right. Well,
Spencer
I want to
Williams.
get into what he has to say to me though.
Okay.
'Cause
This is
we're right
exactly
there.
the kind of person that would critique this kind of video. Someone who is completely ignorant of how good Nintendo actually is.
Ignorant.
But then, like-
ignorant. It's pronounced ignorant, bro. But I mean,
Okay, like,
but,
I don't wanna
like,
be that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
I
either,
don't
but
want to be that
it's
guy,
pr-
but like,
It's actually it's pronounced
I'm
ignorant.
actually ignorant.
It's pronounced ignorant. Okay.
Like,
yeah. Small
you know, I
small
don't like
point.
being that guy.
Yeah,
but
I know,
I'll
but
be
small-
that, but he also does the same thing. That's why I'm like, I
He
don't care.
does.
I'll be
yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
He does the same thing. He would have done the
Yes,
same
he
thing
does.
in
I
my
actually
if he
saw
was
on
in
his channel the
Varsity.
other day that he was Jakey was streaming Baldur's Gate
Jakey.
3.
Hey, you saw my
Oh,
stream. What's up?
Hey!
In
You
this
stalked my
live stream.
channel. Let's
Why
go.
didn't you pop in?
What he
Why didn't you
says
pop in? That would have been fine.
Wait,
in
no.
Baldur's Gate 3.
He goes on. He
And
goes.
what he
see this.
says in this live stream, which
Here we go.
Okay. Oh, he watched.
happened went long after the New Year's Eve stream. Like what
Yeah.
he said there, I've only played Baldur's Gate 3 for 2.
Oh my god.
That's more than you played of Doom Eternal, bitch. That is
That's
way
more you
more than
played
you
than
played
Baldur's
of
Gate
Doom
3.
Eternal. That's more than you played of Baldur's Gate 3. That is more than you played of Starfield. You ignorant motherfucker.
Of Cyberpunk too.
Yes, any other
probably
game
has a-
outside of a Nintendo Switch title. You even admitted in your Game Awards reaction stream, you said that if it doesn't have a Switch logo on it, you don't care about it. You said that verbatim. You lying ass motherfucker. You have no room to judge. Shut your bitch ass up. 2 hours. I'm getting heated.
It's
I
like
know,
a-
but oh my god.
It's like a
2 hours is
uses that
enough
as
to
a
judge a
gotcha.
game. That is past the Steam refund window.
He's like
He wants
like
to
saying
draw.
that's like some sort of gotcha.
Exactly,
like,
that's
that's some
not
sort
a
of gotcha.
gotcha. And okay, let's hear what else he has to say because it gets even worse.
Okay.
Let's hear what else he has to say.
Oh,
It gets even
oh, no.
worse.
Oh no.
All right.
This is
2
scary.
hours. Like,
Yeah.
this guy is going to
That's
sit
enough.
there and tell me that Baldur's Gate
Tell
3 is better than all of my favorite games ever made.
I never said that.
Oh, he's
I
crying.
never
He's
said
so
that.
Salty. He's so salty.
He's mad. He's ass mad. I never said
It's so
that. I
funny.
never said that Baldur's Gate
This is
3
so
was
funny.
better than your top 10 favorite games. I never
couldn't hear the
said it
tremble.
soloed any of those. I just said that if you like Dragon's Quest and it's similar to the kind of game that Baldur's Gate 3 is, why don't you like Baldur's Gate 3? That's just what I was. But the whole motherfucking point.
can't.
Like, I never said it was better than any of those.
Trembling. He's trembling.
so
Did you hear that? He
mad.
was like, he's saying
All of
that.
my favorite
games.
games. All of my favorite games. Yeah, no, like.
Honestly,
Oh my
if tomorrow,
God.
if tomorrow my YouTube channel gets terminated for some random reason, right? It gets deleted. I will still have pride in knowing that I left my mark on somebody.
Exactly. Right. Like,
My job was to make fun of these guys and maybe show them like just making fun of them, right? But we finally got one. So honestly, I'll die. My channel will die happy.
his nuts
You
are
know, and your
clicking.
channel.
Yeah, they are. He's so
Yes.
mad. Yes, I only
It
played
was
2
so
hours of the game, but that's
fun.
enough. That is more than enough to fucking judge you.
Just say like, oh, that's like, oh.
I made it
this
past
game-
the.
this
I
game
made
could
it
be
past
good.
the intro. I made it into like the actual
Yeah.
like open world. I'm still in
Yeah.
Act 1, but I
Usually
made it
when
into the actual
I'm-
open world.
When I play a game and like it doesn't get me in the first hour, I'll like drop it. Cause like if it's
Yeah.
not getting me now, cause you know I treat games like a paragraph. You know, in a paragraph you're supposed to have a starting sentence that's supposed to grab the reader, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so I treat paragraphs like video games. Like so, if the game doesn't grab me in like at least the first hour, I'm gonna drop it. That's my
Right.
rule, right? If it doesn't
Yeah.
grab me now, it's not gonna grab me in the future.
Yeah.
That's my rule, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
if you see me playing a game for like more than 1 hour, it may have grabbed me. Though I did make an exception for Alan Wake. The gameplay was mid to say the least,
Right.
but the story was pretty interesting. I stayed around, but then the gameplay was just mindlessly boring that I was like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So I stopped.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only exception that I've ever had to that rule.
Right. But like,
but yeah.
yeah, no, like, that's supposed to be some sort of gotcha. I actually sat down and played a good chunk of the game. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, because the world is so big, I probably have barely even made a dent in it. That's fair to say, but like,
Yeah.
I still played a good
there are
portion of the game. I made it past the tutorial
There's
area.
people. There's people that have played it longer than I have, and I've played it for like maybe at least 10 maybe hours.
Right.
Hold on, I'll go check real quick.
Okay.
But I played it for a good chunk of time,
Mm-hmm.
and But there's people that played it more than me and have
Yeah.
barely even scratched the surface of like the story.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people play it for like 500 to 600 hours and more, right? And so
Yeah.
and like they're replaying it because they find different ways to um complete different, because there's so many different ways to go to a problem. You can talk yourself out of it. You can influence other people to fight other people, right?
Yeah.
You can fight everyone yourself. There's just so many different ways, and so people replay it to be like, oh,
Like, okay, I can
what
do it this
ways
way.
do you
Like, it's
yeah,
just gonna
I
be
could do it
different
this way, or I
every
could do it
time.
this way.
Like, it's just gonna be different every
Um,
time.
I
And,
have
like,
played it for 13 hours and 12 minutes.
okay, then yeah, you definitely have you're qualified to critique it. He didn't
Okay.
even play the game, so why is he fucking talking?
Yeah.
Like, and I never,
I
for the
don't
record,
know.
I never said that that Baldur's Gate 3 was better than any of his favorite games. I
Yeah.
never said that, and you didn't either. So,
Same. So
just
yeah,
saying,
I mean,
just
I'll
saying that
share.
argument was never
vote
made. This
is,
is evidence
like,
of straw manning.
If you got like, I'll put it in the server too. I'll put it in gaming. So if anyone wants like proof, like, you know, I'm not just
Right.
talking on my butt. I got Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 here.
Right.
I,
All right.
but yeah, I sent it in
Remember
gaming if
again
you
that
want,
Harman's
but yeah.
stream was supposed to be about his community? Right. Right. Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I
This
don't.
is now he's just attacking us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see what else he says though. Let's see here.
Despite not having played Baldur's Gate 3 at
2
all.
hours is not
What?
at all.
A 300-hour RPG, allegedly. 2 hours in, right?
300-hour RPG.
Okay.
Like,
2
I'm
hours.
told
Okay.
that, like,
Okay.
DSP took,
That's
like,
still more
9
than you.
hours to, like,
So,
get past the tutorial
Yeah,
or
he
something.
didn't play
like,
it at all. So it's like,
Hold on,
like
wait.
this is like, okay, huh?
Before you say anything, I want to keep going. I think he says more. So
Okay.
let's.
I'm told that, like, DSP took, like, 9 hours to, like, get past the tutorial or something. Like, he hasn't scratched the surface on that game. And yet he's trying to tell me it's one of the best RPGs ever made.
I never said
said
that.
that. No one
I
ever
never
said
said it was
that.
one of the best RPGs ever made. And it
I
takes
never said
it
that.
takes less than 9 hours to get past the tutorial area. Right?
Yeah, that's
it
just
does not
DSP
take
being bad.
that just means DSP is bad at the game. Like,
Yeah.
That's not at all what that means. I made it into the overworld and did like a couple combat encounters. Past the tutorial area.
Yeah.
Did a couple of combat encounters in 2 hours. Just to see, that's enough to make me get a feel for the game and see what it's like.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to accomplish with my first
It's
encounter
hilarious
with the game.
too. Like he's like, oh,
He's
he's
trying to-
only played 2 hours.
Only played 2
And,
hours,
like,
and apparently
but-
2 hours equates to not at all.
Like, okay. I get the point though. Like RPGs take 300 hours, right?
Yeah.
But like, you
Not
got
everyone is
going
going to sink that same amount of time into it.
Yeah, and like again, so he's like, it's okay for Jakey to not play in like to play like maybe 2-3 hours. Like it's not okay for him to like say, oh, I think this game is good, only playing 2 hours of it. But it's okay for you to say it's bad and not playing any of it.
Exactly.
Right? That makes 0 sense. That's like hypocrisy in a
Why is he
nutshell.
bringing up Darkside Phil? My guess is that he thinks that because Darkside Phil is bad at the game and it took him supposedly 9 hours to get through the tutorial area,
Well,
that
Darkside
automatically
Phil is
means that the tutorial is 9 hours long in the game, which is just
No,
not
the
true.
tutorial is
It's just not
yeah,
true. Like,
the tutorial is like maybe an hour, maybe
if that, maybe. Like,
maybe like 30 minutes.
yeah,
Right.
maybe. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I
the
think it's
tutorial
less than an
area-
hour.
The tutorial area, I would say, is that from when you start the game on the ship, on the Mind Flayer's ship,
The
or
Mind
whatever they're
Flayer
called.
ship, yeah.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer's ship. To when you leave and enter the open world. That's
Yeah,
the
that's the
or that's the
tutorial area. And I made it
Yeah.
past that in probably 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
So,
I think I took a little longer because I was just like checking everything out. But
yeah,
yeah.
I explored around too just to see what there was. But
Yeah.
2 hours is more then I can
more.
I can I can critique it because I've actually played the fucking game
Yeah.
for longer
Yeah.
than for 2 hours, and you haven't played the game at all, so you can't even say anything about it. I'm not, and also
Exactly.
again, I'm not comparing it to your favorite games, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not.
just said, like, the only time you compared it to anything was, again, Dragon's Quest. You were
Dragon's
just saying,
Quest, which
oh,
which
yeah.
again I haven't played, so I can't critique it or compare it. I don't. But if I'm correct, I hear it's a JRPG. So if it's at all similar to Baldur's Gate 3 in any way, I don't know because I have no way of knowing. But if it is, why wouldn't he like Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, that's what you said. That's all
That's
you
what I
said.
said. That is what I said.
That's all we said about Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't know if I brought it up later in the stream or not, but that's all. To
that's
my
all
knowledge,
I
that's all we
remember.
said. That's all we
But
remember.
he's saying
yeah.
like he's saying like, oh, that's all we talked about was
Yeah,
Baldur's
which is
Gate
no,
3.
no, which is just not true. We didn't just talk
Not
about
true.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah,
Yeah,
That it's
yeah.
better
So,
than
like,
all of my favorite games, right?
We
like,
never said that.
Again, this is the issue.
We didn't say that.
Right? Like, this is the problem with the online gaming community. Like, these people
Okay.
are more concerned with status and looking like they're impressive hardcore gamers than they are
I don't care.
actually playing games.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
you see a lot
I'm
with
gonna say
collectors,
this,
right?
Harman. I'm gonna disprove you right now. Okay, if I really wanted to look like I'm with the gaming crowd. Okay. Okay, if I really wanted to, I would be saying everything they're saying, right? Wouldn't you agree? Like, if I was with the hardcore gaming crowd, I would want to say everything they're saying. So, if
Yeah.
that's the case, I would not be playing Starfield right now. I would not be liking Starfield. I wouldn't have made my hour-long review saying it was actually pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be talking about it. I wouldn't be playing it. Like, I literally played it last night for like an hour. And so, if I really cared about what people thought, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
talking about Starfield. I wouldn't
Exactly.
be, right? I wouldn't be, I wouldn't really be, like, caring about, like, what people thought. Like, if I really cared about being with the hardcore gaming crowd, as he calls it, I wouldn't care. I would like be like crapping on Starfield, right? Like,
Yeah.
just destroying it with everybody else just to look cool, right? So like that just disproves his whole like thing, right? About
does,
how
absolutely.
we just want to be with the gamers, right? For me, anyways. I don't know about you, Jakey, but that's like what I say about Starfield is like a hot take, right?
Yeah.
Or it's considered that for some people. It depends on who you're talking to, but for some people, it's a hot take.
Yeah.
Right. But like that's not even the hottest take I think.
It's not the hottest take in the world, right? Like.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not that hot. I would say like a lot of people would agree with me that it's good. Like, it's a good 8 out of 10. In fact, I know a YouTuber that I watched that said, oh, yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. It's good.
Right.
Right. And so I was like, yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with me. Like, at least a solid 8 out of 10.
But apparently, like, giving your opinion on video games or, like, quote-unquote trying to fit in with the hardcore gamer crowd automatically means his community is under attack.
Yeah, so basically he's saying though, like,
yeah,
we're just trying.
that...
The reason why we said BG3 was good is because we want to be with the gaming crowd.
We want to be with the hardcore gaming crowd.
Yeah, we want to be the hardcore gaming crowd, right?
Yeah.
Again, I disprove his theory, right? Because again, I wouldn't
be talking about Starfield.
I wouldn't have like over 100, maybe even 200 hours in Starfield.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be with the gaming crowd so badly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I've been told horrible things because I said I like Starfield, right? So, I mean, I don't really even care what you think, right?
Yeah.
But, like, that just disproves his theory because... And then, like, he also doesn't understand the reason why people say BG3 is good, these, quote, hardcore gamers, is because it is. He hasn't thought about that for a second.
He hasn't.
Like, maybe... Yeah, let's think about it this way. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? maybe I'm wrong. Because like it's like everyone else is saying, it's not like Starfield where like, oh, some people are saying it's good, but some people aren't. It's not like
Mhm.
that. It's like BG3. Everyone, like most people who play it say it's good, right?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm in the wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe people can like games that I don't like,
Mhm.
right? Maybe I shouldn't be saying a game is bad without even playing it. Only playing like
Exactly.
the first game that was made in what, the early 2000s, maybe
Mhm.
even the 90s, right? Maybe I should be looking at myself and being like, "Hey, why am I hating on a freaking video game of all things? There's tons of
Exactly.
things. There's tons of things to hate on that, you know, like hate on something that's worth it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I honestly don't think video games are worth hating on anyways.
They're
But
not.
like hate on something like a company, right? If you have to do video games, hate on a company, right? That's
Mhm.
worth hating on than like a freaking RPG made by some AA studio that came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to be like all ranty and stuff, but like self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm glad he assumes that we just have the most basic takes, right? He assumes
Yeah.
that we have basic takes and we're just doing it to fit in with the gaming crowd, right? You
And
like
that like
Cyberpunk.
I
Cyberpunk is
do.
very similar to Starfield with its controversies, right? I'd
Yeah,
say there's
like
like
when it
half and
came out
half.
at
There's
I had a
yeah,
hot take whenever it came out at launch. I even like straight up, I will
yeah,
say I personally had a relatively bug-free experience at launch. I
yeah,
just experienced optimization issues. So, even though
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
experience any game-breaking bugs, overall I enjoyed the game. I thought it was pretty
yeah,
good at
exactly.
launch. But
Yeah, yeah. And back
that does not
then,
excuse the
yeah,
state that it launched in.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I liked it personally. My experience with it
exactly,
at launch, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And of course, I got some heat for that. But
exactly.
but
See,
like, what do you want me to do? I had a good experience with the game.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And again, Harman, like, look at yourself for a second. Obviously, he doesn't, or else he would pull his shirt
Yeah,
down. Um,
exactly.
but like, look at yourself and look at us, right? Okay. Yes, you have a hot take, but your hot take is like ridiculous. Like Nintendo is superior to everything else,
He's acting like hot
right?
takes are his whole
Well, it's not
personality.
even. Yeah, they're not even that. I
They're
think
not
he
even
has
that
a weird
spicy to
like.
begin with.
He has a weird like victim complex. Like everything he says is a hot take and no one likes him, which is
Yeah,
kind of true.
actually, yeah, that is pretty
But
true.
like but it's not because, oh man, your opinions are so hot, right? It's because they're so dumb, right?
Yeah,
You're just
because
saying
he
stuff
says
like that's
objective.
objectively wrong.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
says stuff that
This,
is objectively wrong.
like it's not even like up for debate for some of the
Exactly.
things he says, right?
Exactly.
We are things like saying that Cyberpunk and Starfield are both good games,
That
right?
is subjective.
That's yeah, that's definitely subjective, right?
But making a claim that the Switch's hardware is the best on the market right now is just utter
Yeah,
dog shit.
yeah,
That is
that's a
objectively
cap.
false.
Even for handhelds,
Yeah.
like I said, the Steam Deck and the Lenovo and the Rogue Ally, all that. Like
Yeah. It's just
even
inferior to those systems in every way.
yeah, yeah. Like if you just said, "Oh, I prefer Nintendo. I think it's good."
Yeah, if he was
Right?
like level-headed and actually like did a
Yeah.
stream trying out every
Like
game he claims is bad and just be like, you know what? It's not for me. I still prefer this, but like I can see why
yeah.
people would like it.
Here's
He
why
would
I
be a
like
lot
this
more
over this.
respectable.
Yeah. Yeah,
He would
yeah.
be
I
so
would be
much more
like, okay.
respectable. But
I'd be like,
because
okay, that's his opinion.
but because he presents his opinion as a straight up fact, it's just, like it's just not,
Yeah, exactly.
he
So
presents it as a straight up fact. That's what makes him so like, unlikable because he just
unlikable.
has that
Yeah.
ego.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, this is fact. Oh, BG3 was a failure. Oh, the numbers are fake."
See,
Right?
you don't need to play a game to know if it's good or bad. You need to compensate for that with research and analysis.
Yeah, research.
I
And
think
he does not
yeah.
he
I
does
think
not
like
do the research
he
either.
clearly no, he doesn't.
He just
I would
listens to
say for
basic
I would say
stuff.
for some stuff like a Naughty Dog game, you don't need to play
Yeah,
it in
if
order
it's like
to
a
do.
story-driven game. RPGs are different. You have to
Yeah.
experience them,
I
I
would
think.
say yeah, no, you can listen to a review all day, but it's
Of
better for
like,
you to
yeah,
experience it
of like a
yourself.
story game.
Yeah.
Like,
Like Detroit
like,
Become Human.
yeah, like Detroit Become Human,
You don't need
like
to
a
actually
Telltale
play it,
game,
but yeah,
a
that
lot of
too.
PlayStation games.
Mhm.
But like, let's say Bayonetta 3, right? That's one of his
Yeah.
favorites. To truly understand that game, we would have to play it to really be like
Exactly.
to get a handle, because there's more to it
Yeah.
than just story and basic
Exactly.
gameplay. The gameplay
Exactly.
looks fun, right? I think to really understand it, I would have to play it, right?
Yeah.
And RPGs are the same way. To truly understand an RPG, or to truly give your opinion, I would say you would have to play it, right? I
Yeah.
don't think an amount of
Exactly.
research would do. Maybe if you research like every possible thing, right?
Yeah. Like you
But
listen to
he
somebody
didn't.
go into
That's the
detail
thing,
about the
though.
combat. He just
Yeah.
doesn't do that.
But that's the issue, though. He doesn't.
Yeah,
And
he
even if
doesn't.
he did, maybe he did, right? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he did, but he doesn't show it, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't show that he did do the research, right? Because
Yeah.
when I watched his worst games of 2023 video,
The Luigi's.
yeah, basically just every popular game
Every
that isn't
popular
on
game that came out
Nintendo.
that year.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple that were on Nintendo, but like,
Well, there was Pikmin 4, but that was like it, wasn't it?
yeah. It was basically just a bunch of popular games. It
Yeah.
was, And so I could tell that he did surface level research.
Yeah.
Like his
Something.
research was very surface level.
Yeah, like I guess he watched like an IGN review and took that as
Yeah,
like
he
fact.
might have watched like a review of the game and was like, "Oh, okay. That I'm gonna base everything on that."
Yeah.
Right?
And it's probably a very like vague review. You know, they don't go into depth
Yeah.
about like the combat or like the world traversal or like
Yeah,
actual
it's an
in-game
IGN
mechanics or
review.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
So,
IGN review.
Yeah, so he doesn't do a lot of research, and he makes that very clear.
He
By the
makes
way
it
he
very
presents
clear.
himself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we're like crapping on your like so-called reviews of these games you obviously haven't played. Because
Exactly.
you obviously didn't even do the most basic of research. You just watched like a handful of reviews and was like, "Oh, okay, I base my opinion off these reviews or these controversies around the game."
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And like I watched his video and it was just like, this game is boring.
It's
And it's made by
uninspired.
a Western. It's made by a Western dev.
developer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
boring. He didn't go into the combat, why it's boring. I think he just said, "Oh, the combat looks boring," or
yeah,
"It
that's
is
all he'll
boring."
say.
That's all he
That's all
said.
he'll
But
yeah,
why is
that's
it
all he'll say.
boring?
Yeah, I was gonna say like why is it boring? Why is it bad? You need to give us reasons, dude.
Well, of course he can't do it
Yeah.
because
And the problem is
he
he also
hasn't played
wants
the game.
he also expects to be taken super seriously with this too.
Yeah,
And it's just hard to because
it's
he
hard to
doesn't
take him seriously.
yeah, he just doesn't present
Right.
himself as like a credible like source for anything.
Like when I see that you made like 5 videos like talking about BG3, I'm not gonna think you're a credible source. Like, and all of them are just like BG3 this, like BG3 numbers are fake, or BG3 is not as good as Tears of the Kingdom. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take what you say about it seriously because you have a hate boner for it, obviously.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like, I'm not gonna take him seriously. I'm not, you're obviously biased, so I'm going in your videos with this notion that you are biased, It's just, it's hard to take him seriously. He's
Yeah, it
biased,
is.
and it's
He's very
obvious
biased.
to see that,
Yeah, he's
right?
very biased. And it's yeah, no, because of that it is very hard to take him seriously.
It's hard to,
Let's
like,
do like another
yeah.
5 minutes of the video and see if he says anything like actually worthwhile.
Worthwhile, yeah.
If not, we'll just call the stream here. Cuz he's got like another like this video's 38 minutes. We're 22 minutes in. So let's just see if he has anything
who have
else
these
to
like
say.
vast like shelves and shelves of like classic games, and like all these obscure Japanese imports that they never play, right? You see
Uh-huh.
people like bang on and on about how like they're such hardcore fans of such and such franchise, but can't tell you anything
Okay.
about it. Like you see, like you have Scott the
I mean,
Waz
those
like
are
admitting that he
cringe,
doesn't
right?
play all that many
Those people
games.
that are
You know,
like, oh,
like
I
you
know so
have
much about this, they're
situations
cringe.
like that,
But like, I've
right? You
never heard
have
that.
these YouTubers who are like presenting themselves as serious hardcore gamers
No,
who are
never,
like
never did
just
that.
sticking it to like those evil console fanboys. But in reality, they
I
don't
never
play a
said
lot of
that
games at all. They
either.
are completely ignorant as to how good these
Okay.
games actually are. And they are
No,
only
I'm not.
hyping
I
up
know how
certain
good they
games
are.
based
I've
Yeah.
played them.
entirely on word of mouth. And I would argue
Word
that's
of
the case
mouth,
with like
no.
all of
No,
this
that's what
super
you
popular
do,
stuff.
actually.
You know,
This is
the stuff that
projection.
everyone
This is
talks about
literal
on social
projection.
media. You know, I think Elden Ring is a really good example. There's no
Oh God.
reason that like Elden Ring. There's no way that Elden Ring is popular among general audiences because of the way it plays, the way it looks. Like
I think 20 million copies begs to differ.
Yeah,
Like,
that says otherwise. If it
yeah,
wasn't
like,
popular amongst general audiences, then it would have sold like as much as Tears of the Kingdom did.
yeah, exactly. It sold more than Tears of the Kingdom. Well, maybe once Nintendo releases their numbers, we'll hear about how much it actually sold.
I'm just joking, but
But
seriously though,
yeah, no,
if
like,
it was only general audiences, it would have sold like maybe 10 million, maybe not even that, maybe 3 million. I'll
yeah.
just say 3 million. If it was only for if only FromSoft people or Souls players and all that like
Hmm.
these games,
Exactly.
then they would have been like then it would have been like maybe 3 million,
Exactly.
right? But saying that general audiences did not play it is like wrong because again, it wouldn't have sold as much as it did
Exactly.
if
It wouldn't have
general
gotten.
audiences didn't
It
play
wouldn't have
it.
opened new people to the Souls series if it wasn't popular
Yeah,
amongst general audiences. Like,
exactly.
Elden Ring
Exactly.
got a lot of people into the series, and I started getting
Yeah.
into it right before Elden Ring even came out. So,
Yeah, I
like,
haven't played Souls or anything yet, but yeah.
right, right. But like, it opened like a floodgate of so many new fans into the
Yeah.
Souls series, and he just doesn't
Exactly
want to
so.
acknowledge that. He doesn't take that
It's
stuff into
because it
consideration
breaks
either.
his
Something
narrative.
he also
It
seems to
breaks his,
forget is that
yeah.
FromSoft is a Japanese developer.
Oh yeah.
So like,
No,
why
no, no, no,
doesn't
no, no, no,
why
no.
doesn't he
Listen,
dick
listen,
ride
listen.
them?
It's because they make games he doesn't like.
And
That's
most of them
why.
don't come to
Only
the
certain
Switch.
Japanese developers. Right.
All right,
Only,
let's
only,
just watch a
yeah.
couple more minutes and see if he says anything else worthwhile. Because what he just said is like objectively
Maybe
wrong.
he'll pull up his
everything
shirt.
about it. Now there's no
Pull
denying
down
that
his
it
shirt.
has a fan base
Yeah,
who
pull
loves it
up.
for what it is.
Don't
And
pull it
there's
up, Harman,
nothing
please.
wrong
Yeah.
with that.
I'm
But like
scared.
saying it's a 10 out of 10 like game of the year contender with no flaws is just laughably
No one ever
ignorant.
said
You
that.
know,
I mean, there are people who hyped it up to say that, oh yeah, it was definitely like a 10 out of 10. It was like one of the best works FromSoft has ever done. And in certain
Yeah,
aspects, I can see
of
that, but
course.
I definitely
A
have
lot of
my own
people say that.
problem. Which, if he wants to
Yeah.
claim that, like, I'm a big, like, FromSoft meat writer, you can look at if you went through my channel to grab screenshots of my face, Harman, you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
that video
That was
that I
funny.
made on Elden Ring and critiquing my problems with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Exactly. So, like, yes, there were people definitely like, oh, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
But,
there were
like, at the
people
same
who said 10
time,
out of 10, but there were also people who said, hey, I still like the game, but it has, like,
it's not 10
this,
out of
this, and
10.
this that's wrong with it.
I don't think
Right.
I've ever played a 10 out of 10 game before.
I mean, there are games that we've played that we think are 10 out of 10s, but, like,
Yeah.
maybe no
The
game
only
I think
game,
is, like,
I
a
don't,
10 out of 10.
I don't think there's any game I've played.
If you really nitpick, there's something wrong with, like, every, like, very
Yeah,
popular, even, like,
I don't think
objectively, like, some people would say objectively good games.
yeah.
Like,
I
there's
would
some.
say, like, I haven't said it on, like, YouTube or anything, but I've said it in
Mhm.
private before. I said, it was regarding Starfield, like, controversies, and I said to someone, I said, I can make any game look like garbage. Even the
Yeah,
best game, I can make it look like garbage.
exactly.
By making mountains out of molehills.
Exactly.
I can make Cyberpunk, I'm just taking your favorite games. I can make Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Souls 3, whatever you like. I can take it and make them like look like the worst, crappiest
Yeah.
games you've ever played.
Yeah,
Right?
even like my number one favorite game ever, you could turn
Yeah.
that into something
I
that
can make it
that
look
people
like
wouldn't really
absolute
like.
garbage.
You can make any game look bad, yeah.
Yeah, I can make every Game of the Year award winner look like absolute garbage, right? From nitpicking and making mountains out of molehills. And I think that's what a lot of the Starfield controversies were, but that's a whole topic for another day, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I was referring to. I can make mountains out of molehills if I wanted to, right? For
Yeah.
every game. And that's what he does. He takes little problems as well. He takes little problems and makes them big,
Exactly.
right? Makes it a big deal.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, let's continue.
All right.
Because I know you did the same thing with Dark Souls. Like, how often do you see people today talk about the second half of Dark Souls and how it completely falls apart and how it's like a complete downgrade from the first half?
Only if
with,
people
like,
are critiquing
the interconnected
game.
worlds and all this cool stuff. Like, the second half is such a huge downgrade. And yet you don't hear people who put it on, like, the best game of all time list, like, really talk about that at all. Like, how often do you see people, like, talk to you about, like, how Gwyn is such a disappointing final boss? You know, that you only have to, like, parry twice to beat, right?
I have no
like,
clue who any of these people are, so.
He's talking about the final boss for Dark Souls 1 and how players considered it a disappointment because there were bosses before who were considerably harder than he is. So if you know how to parry, you can just you can pull off a few parries and get the win
his whole
easy.
boss fight.
He's parrying I wouldn't say is a cheese because parrying is a part of the game mechanics.
Oh yeah, it's a part of the game.
Yeah. But he,
I want to play Cuphead. I know it's so random.
Cuphead's fun. That's random, but yeah.
I thought of parrying. When I first think of parrying, I think of Cuphead and the little pink things.
Cuphead is fun.
That you can like parry.
But yeah, no, people aren't really talking about that because, like, you know, people.
The rest of the game
unless they're like specifically talking about the game, then yeah, they're gonna bring it up. But like, Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls is not a new game. It got a remaster in like 2018, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But like,
something
so
like
the remaster's recent. But like nobody's talking about it because it's not really a new game.
Yeah, exactly.
So nobody really cares.
Exactly.
It's just not an important thing to bring up. I just don't understand it.
Exactly. But of course he's gonna bring it up.
Gwyn being anticlimactic is a plot point, though. Yeah. That's that. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
I have no clue, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you would assume after fighting all those bosses, and then like the big bad would be like the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, you get to the end, the final boss. You would expect to be a considering his lore, how he's like like one of the strongest ever, and like he's just.
But then he's just like.
If you don't know how to parry, okay, I'll say this much: if you don't know how to shield parry, he's very, very hard. He's super aggressive. But if you know how to parry, he's easy as shit. Like, you can make him the whole laughing stock of the game.
Yeah.
Not that he's at all comparable to Pinwheel, but
I don't know who that is either, but
he's the easiest boss in the entire series. So nothing really to worry about. But yeah, but nobody's talking about this stuff because it's not a new game. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
Unless you're specifically talking about the game itself, then yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, like you're reviewing it, like doing a retrospective or something.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Let's see what else.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No
what else.
problems with Dark Souls, right? You don't. Like, is the reality. Like, Nintendo games are nitpicked. Like,
oh, here we go.
Until they're like broken and bleeding. Like, it's like they're scraping the skin and then they get to the bone and then they start like scratching at the bone until it like withers away to
I'm just
dust.
gonna let the rest of this
and then like
whole
you
video
sweep up
play,
the
'cause
dust and throw it in the trash can and then you like burn the trash like and then you try to like sweep up the remains of that too. Like that's basically what they have to do with like every single major Nintendo game, right? Is just obsessively downplay every single
like
one,
a lot of people
while venerating like even the most.
There are a couple of people that were like, that really made big videos like, "Oh, I did not like this game," right?
Yeah.
there was a few videos, and honestly, like I agree with those videos. Those are disappointing, but like no one's saying that these are bad games.
Yeah, nobody's like
Right.
downplaying them or
Nintendo did not
they're
release
they're
a
not
bad
being
game.
nitpicked.
Yeah, it was just disappointing to me because it felt
W
like
for
$70
Harman.
DLC.
W for Harman
Huh?
because he knows about Gwyn a little at least. Yeah.
That's
At
true.
least he knows a little bit about Gwyn.
Like, okay, so, but back to what I was saying though, like,
I know.
yes, there are like some people, of course, that are going to nitpick because they just hate Nintendo that
Minor
much,
of PC
right? Of course,
right?
there's
Like,
always those
every
people.
single time.
But
Like it is insane. The links and like
it's
the links
not on the
people will
level he's saying it is, right?
Yeah,
He's saying
it's
it's on this massive scale that there's tons of these like all these big YouTubers are like scratching at the bone or whatever he said of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like every time they released it, I'm like, no one, no.
No.
Only a few people, and like most of the. In fact, it's funny because most of the people that like dislike Tears of the Kingdom the most are like hardcore Zelda fans, right?
Yeah, they are.
It's just hilarious because
Mhm.
it's not normal people that like casually like play the series every once in a while like me, right? It's like
Yeah.
hardcore fans. Like I know these hardcore fans,
Mhm.
right? And they're like, this game feels like $70 DLC. And like I didn't really like Breath of the Wild, but I wanted to check out the sequel to see if it was better. But it just felt
Yeah.
like $70 DLC. Like I've heard that so many times,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
agree. I agree with him, of
Mhm.
course, because I did play it, and I was
Mhm.
like, wow, this sucks.
But the
Well, it
difference
doesn't
is they're not
suck, but
being nitpicked.
yeah, they're not being nitpicked, right?
Yeah.
They're just being like, this is just like, oh, it was disappointing. And
Yeah.
but I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Yeah.
There's a difference between me
Exactly.
thinking it's disappointing and it being bad. It's not a bad game.
Yeah.
Like objectively, it's not a bad game, but
Exactly.
it's very disappointing.
Exactly.
go to and
Right.
the IPs they'll shill for in order to like talk down about Nintendo IPs, right? Like that's the reality of the situation we're in is that like these people will obsessively hate Nintendo no matter what.
That's not
And
true.
I think Justin Diems will actually come
We've
out
already
and like
explained why.
admit
That's just not
that he
true.
hates the company,
Yeah.
which is why
There's
I
probably,
have
like
such
I
a
said, there's
disdain
people
for
that
him.
do that, but
Because
like it's
like
not on a mass
most of these
scale
guys
like
will
he's
do this
saying it
thing.
is.
Like again, I call these guys pretendos for a reason. Like they'll pretend
That's so
that
true.
they're huge Nintendo fans and that they're just disappointed with this like this specific hardware or this specific title or this specific like thing Nintendo did. But in reality, like they do this all the time with like all of Nintendo's products, right? They
No,
aren't
I don't.
fans
I
No.
thought
by
Mario
any
Wonder
stretch of
was
the
good.
imagination.
So I guess
have
I'm not a
played it, so.
pretendo, as he
But
says. I
Mhm.
thought Mario Wonder was good. I thought the remake for Metroid Prime
But
was
like these
good.
guys will
I'm thinking
like
of all
be
their
very
recent
blatant
games.
about what they think about
Like I
Nintendo.
think
They
all their
think
games are
they're
good.
inferior.
There's
They
just some are
think
better
you
than
are
others,
a
and some are
lunatic
disappointing.
if you defend or like Nintendo, right? You are a bad person if you like Nintendo and
No
you're
one ever
against
said that.
pirating
No,
their
okay,
games,
listen, there's a
right?
difference between
Like
liking
you're just you
Nintendo and
deserve to be
fanboying
taken
for
off
them.
of YouTube because
No,
of
no.
what you said about Baldur's Gate
People
3
want you off
and
of YouTube
Wait,
because
no,
you're just a
he's saying
bad.
that. Okay, no, hold on. He's saying this about us. Okay.
Okay.
I there's just nothing but fluff. He doesn't. I don't think he addresses us later in the video. So we'll listen to this
Yeah.
and then we'll call it there.
in their game.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Right?
explain my
Like
point.
you're just you deserve to be taken off of YouTube because of what you said about Baldur's Gate 3 and the Game Awards and every other game you've talked about this year. Like Tears of the Kingdom isn't a good game, even though I've never played it. Like Mario Wonder is not even a major release, right? Like
Nobody
That
is
is
saying
true.
any of this stuff.
Well-
But yes, it's true that Mario is not a major release.
It wasn't a major release. It wasn't promoted as a major release.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
It
I
was
mean,
not
I
promoted
think
at all.
for me and other, I speak for other Mario fans when I say that it felt like a major release to us, but in reality, like, it wasn't that major,
Yeah.
right?
He's not
That's
talking
not-
about you too. Yeah, I misspoke. What I meant to say was that he's talking about like people like being so like fucking I don't know, like vitriolic against him and his
Yeah.
quote unquote community because like he's trying to make up this claim that people are like, "Oh yeah, you should be deplatformed for what you said about video
The
games." Like,
only
no.
time,
No.
the only
no one
time
ever
I've
said
ever
that.
said, like, he needs to be deplatformed is when he was making legitimate death threats to Jeff Keighley,
Yeah.
right? That was the
that
only
too.
time
When
I
he
ever
said
said,
Jeff-
like,
Well, also in
Yeah.
his George Floyd video.
Oh yeah, that too.
That too.
Well, I'm
But
I'm thinking
also,
of recently.
yeah, well, that, him saying that he was prepared to stop supporting Bayonetta 3
Yeah,
because he was worried Bayonetta would be a lesbian. And
yeah. It's just
again,
like,
like him
oh,
telling Jeff Keighley that he should off himself.
yeah, like
For stuff like that
legit,
alone, he should be deplatformed.
like honestly, that was like, I mean, forgetting all the other stuff he said, right, and just
Yeah,
focusing just for that, just for saying that, like he
yeah,
should be deplatformed for that, right?
yeah,
No one's saying you should be deplatformed for saying you don't like Baldur's Gate 3. Is
exactly.
it cringe? Yes. Does it make no sense because you never played it? Yes.
Is it
Whatever,
funny to
right?
laugh at you for it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But
Of course,
at
but
the end of the day,
we're not
nobody
saying
should
that.
be deplatformed for their taste in video games.
No matter how
Like, no,
dumb it
you'll
may
never
be,
find anybody saying that.
right? But then
Nobody's going to say that.
yeah, but the only time, like I said, is when he said Jeff Keighley should kill himself, and like I was thinking, if it's an attempt at dark humor,
Oh
like it was
yeah.
really bad.
I forgot there was something else he said at the Game Awards that was just so fucking brain dead that I just
Like,
can't even like. Oh my god.
yeah, we can end the video.
NSNP in chat brought it up.
Yeah, what you
Do you
say?
remember whenever this lady came out on stage and he was like,
Oh,
he
isn't
said
it that lady that always dresses in those like weird dresses and stuff?
no, not that, no, not her. It was some
Like,
it was a game developer.
oh,
Some female game developer.
that Japanese game developer that's
Yeah,
always
he was like,
so
"Oh
bubbly.
god." He was like, "Oh god, why her?" Like, and
What
people
does that mean?
someone in chat said this is just proof that you don't like Japanese women. He's like, "No, I do like Japanese women, or else I would be saying what I'm saying, right? That's why I'm calling her a whore." And I'm like, "That's the exact opposite, dude. That is the exact fucking
He
opposite."
just called.
He
He
called
called
her
her
a
a
whore
whore.
on stream. That's just
That's. I think her personality is just, for me,
she's
was like.
I mean she's very bubbly, right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
she's
not a big fan of that
enthusiastic. She's very
personality,
bubbly.
but like that's
But
not
like no
that doesn't mean she's a whore.
exactly. Like that's not what you think it means, dude. You're being
Yeah.
a fucking bully.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And he
Oh.
wonders why people make fun of him on the daily, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, there are people
And
trying
like,
to deplatform him. I mean, I can see why. He says some of the dumbest shit and most like hateful shit that I've ever heard.
yeah, like I mean, we'll take away his weird video game opinions, and
Yeah, like
like,
just disregard that, like, cause that's irrelevant.
yeah,
Focus on the stuff
like
like
just
the hateful,
just for the
bigoted shit
Jeff,
that he's saying.
yeah, like the Bayonet or not the Bayonet, the Jeff Keighley stuff. It should be enough to
Yeah,
get him deplatformed.
that
Isn't
should
that
be enough to
against
get him
terms
deplatformed,
of
of
service?
course.
Isn't that against terms of service?
I
I don't
yeah,
remember. I
I'm pretty
haven't
sure
read
it is. I'm
TOS.
pretty sure
Like,
saying stuff like that live on stream is against TOS.
like, and so I'm thinking, if it's dark humor, it's not funny. He got the dark
Exactly.
part right, but it's not funny.
But it's not
so, and I
humorous,
think
right? Like it's just not. That's
yeah.
not funny. Telling Jeff
Yeah, it's
Keighley
not
he should
funny.
kill himself is not funny.
Because he didn't give the stupid Zelda game or the Mario game an award at a stupid award show, right?
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
should be killed. And again, but for years, right, guys? Like he doesn't care about it, right? For years, he
Apparently.
has not cared about it.
He's been saying
Right?
that they're rigged and that they're
Yeah, for years,
non-credible.
not
But
just recently, but years,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
But I'm like, why do you care then? If it's rigged, why do you care so much?
Exactly. Like
And I bet you $10,000, right? If Zelda won that the Game of the Year award, right? Or if heck this year, Zelda or not Zelda, but a Nintendo game wins Game of the Year, right? Nintendo was cooking up something great and it won Game of the Year. I bet you $10 he's gonna like be like, oh yes, finally they're not corrupt anymore, or
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah,
Like
he
$10.
would. He would.
Like-
he would absolutely do that.
Now that I say, he's
Here,
probably
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
go ahead and
like,
put
he's
up-
gonna backpack.
I'm just gonna put
He's
up
gonna be like,
a still because I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream there. I don't think he's gonna say anything else. I also just don't have the time to get into the rest of it. So.
but yeah. Oh,
yeah.
there's the infamous
Retro.
the infamous the infamous cyberpunk picture that he makes fun of.
Yeah. Well, this is a different one, but like the stream can't see it, so it's fine. I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh wait, shit.
It's pretty
I
good.
accidentally left. Sorry.
It's,
Um,
but yeah,
like,
that
no,
was pretty. That was a good stream.
that was fun. He really does like, like, yeah, no, he would do the same thing. Like he would
Yeah,
absolutely say that that the Game Awards are not rigged because
yeah,
like a Nintendo game won an award.
yeah. He would like turn. He would like, yeah. I'd say whether or not like my favorite game of the year won, I'd still be like, okay, it's stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like if say my favorite game of this year won Game of the Year, because at the time I did not play Baldur's Gate 3, so I didn't really,
Yeah.
I didn't have a stake. So like if my game won, I still wouldn't care,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Um,
I wouldn't
anyways,
care
I'm
because
just
it's
gonna
not that big of a deal. Yeah.
yeah, like it's just I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just stupid
Yeah, he's just
overall.
yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
stupid.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and call the stream there. Thank you guys for
Alrighty,
joining.
well, yeah.
I'm gonna leave a
Thank you.
thank you guys so much for the support. Shout out that PlayStation gamer for joining the Discord.
Oh yeah, fire,
Uh,
yeah. You want to
yeah,
join the Discord, there's
yeah.
link.
I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe we'll do another
yeah,
stream reacting to free sample for one of Harman's
book.
books.
That'd be fire.
Not sure if we'll do it yet, but we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys for supporting the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.